And a very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Seneca, Missouri. Earl D. Campbell Stadium, Tom Hodge Field. That is the site of tonight's Big A Conference football game between the Cassville Wildcats and the Seneca Indians, as the Wildcats are on the road here in week number 7 of the high school football season. After tonight, just 2 weeks remain in the regular season, and then it's on to district play. Cassville, after a victory last week in the Berry County Brawl over the Monet Cubs, head out on the road to take on the Indians here this evening. The stadium here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium has a new look as they have brand new turf this year on Tom Hodge Field. So we'll be talking about that as we continue on with the pregame here this evening. But looking forward to a great night of football here from Seneca as we've got some really nice weather, a little warmer than I'm sure the players would like, but very comfortable for the fans to enjoy this game here this evening. Glad to be along with you here on the Talon Sports Network on 97.7 FM, CassvilleWebTV.com, and also online at RadioTalon.com. as we fire up the Mercy Hospital of Cassville pregame show. Mercy Hospital of Cassville, where your life is their life's work. Sammy Clapper along with Jeremy Marple. Todd Speakman with us as always, running the camera on CassvilleWebTV.com. And Jeremy, the first thing folks will notice, it's been a couple of years since we've been down here to Seneca. When you walk up to the stadium, this shiny new turf here on Tom Hodge Field.
Yeah, it looks very nice. The stands, of course, we're back kind of where we used to be here on the south side of the football field on the visitor stands, and they're probably a couple of years old, so the visitor stands are nice. The field looks great, and yeah, it's just perfect out here tonight.
One thing that they have done that has improved things a little bit for the visiting team is it used to be the front row of the bleachers was pretty much about 10 foot off of the sidelines. I mean, that front row of bleachers was like they were staring right over into the sidelines in the coaches' huddles.
Right.
But now they've backed it up about 5 or 6 feet. They couldn't go too far because they've got issues with light poles and things behind us, but they did give the visitors bench a little more space to deal with, but still a very cozy atmosphere. The bleachers are right on top of the action on both sides of the field.
Right, still pretty intimate here, not quite as bad as it used to be, but yeah, they've done a really nice job down here.
Well, Cassville broke their 4-game losing skid last week. They won the Berry County Brawl 21-20, scoring in the final 30 seconds to claim the victory, picking up their second win of the year. They're 2-5. They come in tonight taking on Seneca. The Indians are 3-3. Seneca's lost 2 in a row. They started off the year with 3 wins and only 1 loss, that loss coming to Hollister. Victories over Marshfield, Rogersville, and East Newton. But the last 2 weeks they've taken on 2 of the top teams in the Big 8 West, McDonald County, Nevada, lost to both of those. A lopsided loss to the Mustangs in the little neighborhood rivalry. But then a lot of points scored last week at Nevada, 52-35, the Tigers with the win over the Indians.
Well, one of the things you worry about coming off a really emotional, hard-fought football game at your homecoming in the Berry County Brawl, and then add to that you come on the road and come to a place that's very difficult to play anyway. You just worry about the focus, and I know this coaching staff, they do a great job of kind of gathering the guys and get them all headed in the right direction, but you worry about that a little bit coming out of a game like the Wildcats have last week, but I expect them to be ready to go tonight.
A lot of big games in the Big 8 tonight. Besides this one here, we've got Lamar at Monette, Reed Spring at McDonald County, Springfield Catholic at Mount Vernon, also Nevada at East Newton, and Marshfield at Aurora. Hollister at Rogersville are the other matchups around the conference. And now that we're down to the final 3 weeks of the regular season, you got to start thinking about district seeds. Right now, Cassville's at the bottom of Class 3 District 6, but a victory tonight, and depending on what happens between Reed Spring and McDonald County, some of that could be shuffling around. Right now, the Aurora Hound Dogs are the top seed. If the season ended today, they would get the first round bye with only 7 teams in the district. Hollister's at number 2, Mountain Grove 3, Seneca 4, Buffalo 5, Reed Spring 6, and Cassville 7. So with the momentum they got started last week with the victory, now they need to continue to build on that to try to improve some of the seeding positions here down the stretch.
Well, there's certainly time to kind of dig themselves out of the cellar and improve their district standing. Looking at the remaining schedule for most of those teams, it appears that maybe Hollister has the easiest road to the end. But, hey, you got to play them. Line up, play them. You've got, I guess, including tonight, you've got 3 games left to determine the district standings.
And you look at the district, too, even though Aurora sets atop of the district with an overall record of 5-1, this has been a pretty balanced district play-wise throughout the year. And even going into the final 3 weeks, somebody gets on a hot streak, anybody can come out on top of this. So the big thing is you want to try to get yourself a favorable matchup in the first round, because Cassville being in the bottom half of the district right now, they know they're going to have to go on the road. It's just you don't want to make one of those super long road trips like over to Mountain Grove or all the way up to Buffalo.
Yeah, and that's certainly possible. But you get in the playoffs, everybody's in, obviously, week one. You get past that first round of the playoffs, hey, anything's possible.
And, of course, that's the way you got to take it, too, 1 week at a time. And when you get to week 10, doesn't matter who you're playing or where you're going, it comes down to the old Raider slogan, just win, baby.
Just win, baby. Get that W and head to the house, see who you play next week.
Well, fans, when you attend a high school game, do you stand at attention during the national anthem? Do you cheer a good play by the opposing team? If your team loses, do you take it well in stride? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you're showing positive examples of sportsmanship. Don't forget that when you attend high school events, young eyes are watching you for examples of acceptable behavior. By making a conscious effort, you'll be teaching our students and helping them grow into better citizens. Sportsmanship message was brought to you by Access Family Care, with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. Tonight's broadcast also brought to you in part by Les Jacobs Ford at the junctions of 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville. Les Jacobs Ford, they remind you that your used car has never been worth more on trade-in. They'll even buy your car. So come by and see them, or check them out online at lesjacobsford.com. Les Jacobs Ford says go Wildcats. Well, there's a lot of activity going on tonight. Prior to the game, they're recognizing their youth cheerleaders and football players, so they're going through those ceremonies here in pregame. We still got a ways to go before we get started with tonight's varsity contest between the Wildcats and the Indians. So we'll jump right into things and start things off with tonight's field condition report. It's brought to you by Security Insurance Agency of Cassville. What condition is your insurance in? Are you covered for the hazards of weather or losses that might be unexpected? Call Security Insurance in Cassville at 847-8384. That's 847-8384. Well, normally this time of year, we haven't got any cold weather yet. In fact, we're in the 70s right now. But when you came down to Seneca late in the season, that Bermuda that was so beautiful early in the season, if you got a little cold snap, it would start to turn brown. But now with the artificial surface, you're never going to have to worry about any of that ever again. And this is a beautiful new addition to their facility down here. So the field condition is great shape tonight for the ball game.
When we got here, I got out on it just a little bit, and it's spongy, a little bouncy. New turf sometimes can be a little slick in spots, but overall the field looks great, and I expect it to play really good tonight too.
And the one thing that different schools do, and now that turf has become more utilized by high schools and you're seeing advancement in the technology, it's no longer the old AstroTurf rug over a slab of concrete like in the old days. You can get the turf in different lengths, and it's interesting when you go from school to school if they've decided to get the longer grass, the shorter grass, what they decided to go with. I can remember Carl Junction when they put their new turf in, they went with an intermediate length of grass. It wasn't the really tight, but it wasn't the big long. Some schools go with the shorter. Some try to go with the longer blades of grass on the artificial surface. Looks like Seneca's kind of went with one of those intermediate lengths, and that probably provides a little cushion, like you said, and also maybe it helps a little bit with the slippage as well.
Yeah, it's going to be good. You've got the black rubber pellets in there. You'll see that tonight when the players slide or get tackled. You'll see a little bit of that, and you'll probably see some players come off the field getting some water squirted in their eyes, trying to get that stuff out of their face too. But overall, yeah, it's going to play really well tonight.
Yeah, shoes and pants will definitely get filled up with that stuff.
No question.
If you play very much on this, that's for sure. So they'll be emptying that out at the conclusion of tonight's football game as well. Tonight's broadcast of Cassville High School football also brought to you by the Berry County Health Department. They offer the COVID-19 vaccine Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5. No appointment is needed, and they offer all 3 vaccines, Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. Call the Berry County Health Department for more information, and if you have any questions, at 417-847-2114. That's 847-2114. We're going to take a break, let you hear from some of our sponsors of tonight's broadcast, and then be back with more of tonight's Mercy Hospital pregame show. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Back in Seneca, the Wildcats on the road here in week number 7, Big A Conference football, as they take on the Indians. The Seneca Marching Band getting ready to take the field and play tonight's national anthem. Before we get to that, we'll go over the Wildcat keys to victory. It's brought to you by Wesco Home Furnishings in Cassville. Mark Whittemire and the crew at Wesco. Looking forward to a great season of Wildcat football, and just like the quality portrayed by each player on the field, Wesco offers that same quality merchandise and customer service. Well, last year the Indians, really the last 2 years, they have thrown the ball a ton. This year they've got a healthy Jackson Graham back, so we may look to them to run the ball a little bit more tonight. I haven't got a big read on them from earlier in the season, but Seneca always does like to run the football, and that's one of the keys to a win over the Indians is to control that running game.
The Wildcats can key on Jackson Graham tonight and keep him bottled up. It's going to go a long way to winning this football game.
If they do decide to start throwing the football like they have here in years past, that's going to be another key. The secondary has been tested many times this year by different teams throughout the conference, so they should be ready to go for a passing team.
Well, passing team, you've got to get pressure with your down lineman. That helps your secondary tremendously.
Yeah, Lance Stevens graduated last year. He had been their quarterback for 2 years in a row, so they've got a new quarterback, so pressure on him will be a key as well.
Yeah, don't let him sit his feet. Don't let him get comfortable back there. Get him on the move. And bring him down when you get there.
Again, the keys to victory brought to you by Mark and the gang at Wesco Home Furnishings at 109 West 8th Street in Cassville. You can find them online at wescohome.com. Well, it's time for the national anthem. It's brought to you by Berry County Ready Mix. You can get aggregate needs at all of their locations in Shell Knob, Cassville, or Eagle Rock. Call the Cassville office for more information and a free estimate at 847-3200. That's Berry County Ready Mix bringing you tonight's national anthem. We're going to step aside and be back with more of the pregame after this. Back with you here in Seneca. The Wildcats on the road taking on the Indians. We continue on with the Mercy Hospital of Cassville pregame show. Mercy Hospital, where quality care matters. Time for tonight's Wildcat starting lineup. It's brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today. Locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Defense for the Wildcats. Defensive ends will be Michael Morgan, a 6'1", 215 senior, and Ethan Lamborn, a 6'1", 215 junior. Defensive tackles, Bryson Hendricks, 6 foot, 260-pound junior, and Christian Tidwell, 5'9", 235-pound junior. Linebackers, Ethan Fox, 5'10", 155 senior, Keaton Schellenberger, 6'1", 195 junior, and Isaac Hadlow, 6 foot, 200-pound junior. The corners, Trey Wilson, 5'8", 155 junior, and Hernan Hernandez, 5'8", 175 junior. Strong safety, Jake Anthony's, 5'8", 145 junior. Free safety, Wyatt Alexander, 5'8", 155 junior. Offense for the Wildcats at quarterback, it's Cutter Hicks. He is a 5'11", 180-pound senior. Hicks on the year has ran for 265 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's thrown for over 580 yards and 3 more scores. In the backfield, it'll be Bryson Jacobson, a 6'1", 165 sophomore. Jacobson has ran for over 220 yards and a touchdown. He'll be joined by Jake Anthony's. He's a 5'8", 145 junior. Anthony's has just started in the backfield the last couple of games, and he's already approaching 200 yards rushing and a couple of touchdowns for the Wildcats. Wide receivers will be Hernan Hernandez, 5'8", 175 junior. He has caught 370 yards worth of passes this year and a touchdown. He'll be joined by Wyatt Alexander, a 5'8", 155 junior. Tight end, Isaac Hadlow. He's also got a touchdown catch this year. He is a 6 foot, 200-pound junior. The center, Joseph Ryder, 5'10", 190 sophomore. Right guard, Christian Tidwell, 5'9", 235 junior. Right tackle, Austin Revelorio, 6'1", 230 junior. Left guard, Landry Mills, 5'11", 235 senior. Left tackle, Michael Morgan, 6'1", 215 senior. Wildcat starting lineup again brought to you by Fast Trip. Whether you're looking for fuel, grocery items, fountain drinks, ice cream, snacks, or more, they have it all and at the very best prices. Fast Trip, 104 South Main in Cassville, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Also, today and tomorrow are the last 2 days of Customer Appreciation Week at Freedom Bank of Southern Missouri. So if you missed out on lunch today there at their Cassville branch, you can drop by their Shell Knob or Sligman location tomorrow from 11 to 1. And it's the final day of Customer Appreciation Week. There's prizes that you can enter to win. And again, they'll be serving lunch tomorrow at their Shell Knob and Sligman branches. Freedom Bank, drop by and say hello. Take advantage of some of the offers they have. And some of the offers will continue on through the month of October. So check out all the details tomorrow at Freedom Bank at their Shell Knob and Sligman locations. Again, they've been having Customer Appreciation Week all week long around the area. A beautiful night for high school football here in Seneca. Just a few clouds floating around. The temperature's a little warm for football, in the 70s at game time. It's expected to dip down into the 60s by the time we're done tonight. But no rain like we had to deal with last week. And a big crowd on hand for this one here tonight as well. Got a lot of folks from Cassville making their way down to the south side of the field here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium wearing the black and gold. A big group of Seneca fans also, since it was youth night, recognizing the youth football and cheerleaders. So a big group of on hand for the Indians as well, which makes for a really great atmosphere. We talked about the intimate setting here with the bleachers close to the field, and then when you have a large crowd, we've got people standing in both end zones. It just makes for a really cool high school football night.
It really does, and you know, a crowd like this and just the way the stadium lays out, like you said, if it doesn't get you jazzed up and fired up to get out and play football, I don't know what's going to do it, but I expect a good game out here tonight.
Again, tonight's broadcast brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford, your choice for genuine Ford service and parts, and all at very affordable rates. They are your go-to shop for auto repair at Les Jacobs Ford in Cassville. Find them online at lesjacobsford.com, and they say go Wildcats. Seneca in the all-red uniforms. You don't see that too often, but they still have the traditional white helmets with nothing on the sides. Cassville in their road white jerseys with black numbers, black helmets with the Wildcat logo, and the gray pants with the black and gold stripe here this evening. New head coach here at Seneca, Cody Hilburn, a former Indian player. And you see that quite a bit around the Big Eight, former players coming back to coach. Most of the time it's at an assistant level, but Hilburn, a former Indian player, has taken over the job here at Seneca, and he is their head coach in his first year. The Wildcats coached by Lance Parnell, and he is one of the veteran coaches in the Big 8.
Yeah, sometimes that can be a tough thing to do, is kind of, go back home, so to speak. You go off, go to school, and kind of, cut your teeth somewhere and then come back to where you played and were a pretty good player. And sometimes that can be a difficult thing to do, to come home. And, if your teams aren't successful, that can make things kind of awkward. Seneca, as we talked about a little bit, they've kind of had one of those up and down seasons. It just kind of depends on who's going to show up tonight. And I expect them to be ready. They're fired up, bouncing around out there, good body language. And we'll see when the Wildcats come out, as they're coming on the field right now, we'll see kind of how they're moving around and kind of see how they're ready to go here in just a minute.
Of course, Coach Hilburn takes over after Ryan McFarland was here for several years, and he had kind of a roller coaster career here at Seneca. Had some really, really good teams, had some struggles a couple of years, but he kept this football program going after the legendary coach, Tom Hodge, stepped down. Of course, the field is now named after him. He went into the administrative roles after he quit coaching as athletic director. Now he is no longer doing that either. But when you think of Seneca football, like so many teams in the Big 8, you think of tradition.
You think of tradition, you think of physicality, and normally you think of smash mouth, try to run over you football.
Yeah, the last couple of years they've kind of thrown
got away from that,
wrench into that, but they had the personnel to kind of change things up, and it was something that they wanted to do, and they had a lot of success with it too. Cassville saw that firsthand last year when they threw for over 320 yards against the Wildcats.
Yeah, they certainly had the personnel for that. They've got some of that back this year, and Connor Ackerson had a big game a couple of seasons ago. He's just a junior now, but you look at, I think the offense will probably go through Jackson Graham tonight. Maybe a little bit out of Dane Napier, but Jackson Graham's probably their guy. So he's the one that Wildcats need to focus on stopping first.
Yeah, Cassville won the game a year ago, 42-21, and the captains are meeting at midfield, getting ready for the coin toss. The coin toss is brought to you by the Clark Center. They have offices in Berry, Lawrence, and Dade counties. You can go to www.clarkmentalhealth.com to find the phone number for services in your area. Clark Community Mental Health Center, moving forward, improving lives and communities through compassion and care. Well, the sun is set. The lights are in full effect here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium, lighting up the new turf here on Tom Hodge Field. And the captains, along with the head coaches, Coach Parnell from Cassville, Coach Hilburn for Seneca, meeting with the officiating crew as we get ready for tonight's broadcast and football game. Should be a good one here tonight. It always is when the Wildcats and the Seneca Indians have gotten together. And, boy, there has been some memorable games down here in Seneca. There for a while, the road team, it seemed, had the advantage all the time. And then they went through a little stretch where the home team always seemed to have the advantage. But it's usually a knockdown drag-out when Seneca and Cassville take the football field.
Well, it really is. And you've got to come in here with the mentality, hey, it's going to be physical. And that can be said for just about every game in the Big 8 that you play, but especially when you're talking about the Seneca Indians.
Yeah, there for a while, Cassville was one of the few teams that had the advantage when they came down here. They had a nice little run down here in Seneca, but Cassville has won the toss, and they have deferred their option to the second half, so the Wildcats will be kicking off to start tonight's football game. And Cassville will be kicking out of the west end zone. Seneca will be defending and coming out of the east end of the field here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium. So the Indians will get the football first. Cassville's defense will take the field after the opening kickoff. Tonight's first quarter is brought to you by Michael's Hardware at 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. For your project questions, call Michael's. Friendly folks, serious hardware. And now that October is here, Michael's Hardware has your fall mums for decorating, for planting, whatever the case. They've got fall mums now, so drop by Michael's Hardware, 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville, and check out their display. Tonight's kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Come try out the all-new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic. It features custom wash technology that gives you the perfect wash every time. With Baywash, clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Well, if you're listening on one of our free mobile apps, the mobile apps for Cassville High School football is brought to you courtesy of White Funeral Home. White Funeral Home in Cassville. They measure their success by the satisfaction of the families they serve. The Apple and Google Play phone apps are courtesy of White Funeral Home and Crematory. Peter Littlefield will be kicking things off tonight to get it started for the Wildcats and for the Indians. Back deep, we've got Ethan Altick and Jackson Mars. A pair of sophomores back there returning kicks. Both have decent size, though, and I'm sure they possess a lot of speed. That's why they're back there returning these kicks for the Indians. Littlefield gets the whistle, approaches, and we are underway. He gets a good leg into this one, drives it over the head of Jackson Mars and into the end zone for a touchback.
About a yard deep in the end zone right there. Nice job by Littlefield to start this football game off.
So the Indians head out onto the field offensively for the first time here tonight. Cassville's defense will get a look at this Seneca offense. Again at quarterback, it's Ethan Fritchie. Jackson Graham and Dane Napier, the two main running backs. We'll also see possibility of, and I saw his name somewhere, Jackson Mars, the guy we were just talking about returning kicks as well sometimes. Right now we've got Graham lined up off the right hip of Fritchie. Fritchie's got good size, and he pitches the ball to Graham, and he'll try the right side of the field. He's out across the 25, makes a quick turn up the field, and takes it out to the 30-yard line. Nice pickup on first down on a quick hitter from Jackson Graham.
Little toss sweep around the right edge. The Seneca Indians had three wide receivers lined out there towards their sideline. Blocking leading the way, about a 9-yard gain right there. One of the things about these Indian running backs is they're going to run very hard. So as a Wildcat defender, when you get there, you've got to wrap up, hang on.
Cassville comes with a 4-man front, 9 yards on first down, 2nd down and 1 for the Indians at their own 29. They go unbalanced this time to the left, and they bring a man in motion, fake the handoff to him, go against the grain to Graham. Graham, a big hole over the right tackle. He breaks through that across the 45 and picks up a first down out close to the 38-yard line.
Head coach Lance Parnell calling a timeout here. Doesn't like what he's seeing out of his defense right now. Going to bring him over and have a little talk here early in this football game.
The football spotted down between the 37 and the 38. It's a gain of nearly 8 yards. Graham has picked up 17 on his first 2 carries of the night. And you're exactly right. He's going to try to settle this group back down. Seneca went outside with the first play. They went between the right guard and right tackle with the second play and have been successful on both of those. So Cassville going to have to find a way to slow them down early on and set kind of a tone here early in this first quarter.
Well, right now, Coach Parnell, he's talking to him. He's asking them what they're seeing in front of them. You have to use your eyes and see what's going on in front of you. I'm sure the whole week in practice, after the staff has scouted the Seneca Indians, there are certain reads that the defenders are supposed to be keying on right now. And he's just asking them, what are you seeing? What are they showing you? Trust your reads. Go make a play.
Yeah, because you're seeing more and more teams go with the unorthodox-looking formations, kind of like what Seneca's doing right now. They've got Fritchie from the shotgun, but they got 2 running backs off his right hip, and now they bring Jackson Graham in motion. He fakes the handoff to him, fumbles it, picks it up in the backfield, tries to scramble to the Seneca sidelines, and he is going to be run out of bounds back around the original line of scrimmage, but that could have been a costly mistake, as it looked like he wanted to give the ball to Graham and then take it back, and they nearly turned it over, but they do not lose any yardage. It'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, pretty good job there by Fritchie to get back to the line of scrimmage. It looked like big trouble for him about 5 yards deep.
And I correct myself, 2nd down and 10 because they had just picked up the first down on the carry by Jackson Graham. So 2nd down and long. Fritchie got to keep it himself this time after he fakes the handoff to Mars, and he races around the right end and takes it across the 45 out close to the 46 as he comes up about a yard and a half shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and short for the Indians.
Fritchie, senior quarterback, he's 205 pounds, Sammy, so when he decides to turn the ball downfield, he's a load to bring down. He's their biggest back out of the backfield right now.
It's a gain of nearly 9 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd and about a yard and a half. First 3rd down situation of the night for the Indians. Early on here in the first quarter, just 2 minutes gone here in the opening quarter of play. No score. Seneca with the opening drive of the night. This time they hand the ball off to Mars, and Mars a big hole right up the middle, and he races across midfield into Cassville territory down to the Wildcat 45 and picks up another first down, and they put it down at the 44-yard line for a gain of 10 yards.
Well, right now the Indians are winning the battle in the trenches. They're clearing lanes for Mars and Graham, also quarterback Fritchie. they haven't had to throw the football, Sammy. They're just lining it up and playing hard-nosed football right now.
A gain of 10 on the first carry of the night for Jackson Mars. Twin receivers right, single man to the left. They go unbalanced to the left. Here comes Graham in motion. This time they're going to give him the football. He's got a blocker on the corner, makes the turn and turns it up inside the 40, down to about the 38-yard line.
Graham coming in motion from right to left, took that handoff, the same play that the Indians fumbled on a few plays ago. Coming around that left edge, and these Wildcat defensive ends are going to have to find a way to kind of set that edge and force the back into the teeth of the defense.
It's a gain of about 6.5 yards, second down and 3.5 to go for the Indians at the Cassville 38.5-yard line. Fritchie, a tall, long quarterback. He has no trouble seeing everything around him, and he gives it to Mars. Mars a little stutter step in the backfield, and this time he's bottled up as he gets to the line of scrimmage. He takes on contact, pushes forward down to about the 35, but the Cassville defense had him wrapped up, and they'll stop him for a short gain. He only needed to get down to around the 35, though, to pick up the first down. We'll see, and they have signaled third down, but it's going to be third down and little less than a yard to go.
A little bit better job that time by the Wildcat defensive line at the point of contact there. You had your middle linebacker Schellenberger, also Tidwell, defensive tackle right there, kind of standing his ground.
Seneca converted on their first third down of the night. This is their second third down conversion try. 8:40 left to go in the opening quarter. Still no score. The Indians with the opening drive of the football game. They started back at their own 20. They've taken it to the Cassville 35. This time Fritchie going to run in behind a wall of blockers, and Cassville defense swarms to Fritchie, but he only needed to pick up a yard, and he sneaks his way across the 35 down to the 34-yard line. They still haven't spotted the football. Now they put it at the 34, and they're checking to the sidelines, and they signal first down Indians.
You know, you look at this Indian offense, they're not big up front. It's not a big football team. The Wildcats are probably the bigger team tonight, at least in the trenches. But they're doing a really nice job of staying low and getting some leverage on the Wildcat defensive line right now and kind of getting a good push.
So the drive stays alive for the Indians. This time they go trip receivers to the right. Fritchie has Napier to his left. Now he resets over to the right side. Graham is lined up as a wideout. He comes in motion. And they give the ball to Graham. They got a wall of blockers ahead. Cassville trying to get in and trip him up. They do at the 30-yard line, but a penalty flag is thrown back at the line of scrimmage, and this one may be coming back.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a holding call right here. Good job by the Wildcat defense getting out there. It was pretty obvious holding call out there. That one's going to come back.
And that was thrown about 3 or 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so it goes down as a 10-yard penalty, but really was about a 13 or 14-yard mark off against the Indians. And when you factor in the nice run by Graham, he was able to pick up a few yards as well. This is going to move Seneca all the way back to the 48-yard line near midfield.
And this is where the Wildcat defense needs to take advantage of those negative yard plays and penalties. Got to find a way to come up with a big play right here to put them in a second long situation.
They've got to get all the way down around the 25 to pick up a first down, so first down and forever. They give the ball to Mars. Mars blasts through the right side and then is stood up and brought down at the 45-yard line after a gain of only 3 yards.
Yeah, that's a pretty good job right there, and that's what they're looking for. First and a long way to go. Now it's going to be second and a long way to go. That first down defensive play is big right there.
Cassville stays with the four-man front. We're down to 7:15 left to go here in the opening quarter. Seneca's held the ball for nearly 5 minutes on the opening drive tonight. 3 receivers this time to the short side of the field. Fritchie is going to throw for the first time. It's a little screen pass to Mars coming out of the backfield. He's got a blocker in front, starts right, goes back left, breaks it to the outside. He's down the sidelines. He has the first down before he is finally shoved out of play. And so many times those screen passes look at the initial start to be so innocent, and so many times they end up being big gainers.
It was a really good play call right there. 3 wide receivers lined out to the far side of the football field. They come back with the screen to the long side of the field, back towards the Wildcat sideline, and Mars did a really nice job of letting those blocks set up in front of him before ultimately deciding to make a break to the sideline, and a huge play right there on second down.
First and 10 Seneca at the Cassville 17-yard line. Indians are going to run the ball. They give the ball to Graham, and somebody grabs a hold of the leg of Jackson Graham and pulls him back, and then 2 or 3 other Cassville defenders come in to help out. And that was Keaton Schellenberger, the first guy to get to him, the linebacker for Cassville, and he is able to pick up only a yard down to the 16.
Well, that's what you have to do. You get a hold of these Seneca backs, and you just hold on. If you can't bring them down alone, you hang on and let your teammates help out. Good job there by Schellenberger.
So 2nd down and 9 now for the Indians. Napier goes in motion. Fritchie pitches the ball out to Graham. Graham, a big hole around the right side, makes a cutback and slashes his way down to the 6-yard line.
Little option play there by the Indians. Fritchie pitches as he brought the defender to him. Pitched to Graham. Graham made a nice cut back to the middle of the football field. Brought down around the 5-yard line, just outside the 5, it appears.
It's a gain of 10. First and goal, Seneca at the 6. 6 minutes left to play here in the first quarter. Still no score. The Indians have held the football for half of quarter number 1. And they're still driving. This time a high snap to Fritchie, gives it to Graham, and Graham is hit behind the line and tries to fight forward to get back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like he was able to get down to the 5-yard line for a pickup of 1, but a nice job by Ethan Fox getting a hold of the ball carrier and limiting his playmaking ability there.
Yeah, good play there by Fox. Not much to work with there for Graham. 2nd down, ball's now resting on top of the 5-yard line. But you're right, the Indians have had the ball a long time here in this first quarter.
2nd down and goal, Seneca from the 5. Fritchie continues to operate from the shotgun, sends Napier in motion. And he'll run in behind Napier and Jackson Graham trying to get to the pylon. Now he makes a cutback, dives to the end zone, touchdown, Seneca.
Fritchie in the read, the option play there, decided to keep it himself around that right edge, heading towards the pylon. Took some contact about the 3-yard line, was able to fight off of that. Again, big back, big quarterback, over 200 pounds. Just strength right there at the end to reach the ball over the goal line.
Boy, if you're Seneca, you couldn't draw it up any better on that. A 15-play, 80-yard drive that took 7 minutes off the clock. Now the extra point try by the Indians, and it is blocked. Braden Thiel attempting the point after, but Cassville came blasting through the front, right up the middle, and was able to block the kick of Thiel. So with 5:06 left to go here in quarter number 1, Seneca leads 6-0.
Yeah, Schellenberger just came straight up the middle. It looked like he nearly took the ball off the foot of the kicker. No chance right there. Great play by Schellenberger.
So Seneca jumps out on top, and now Cassville will get the ball for the first time here this evening. Again, tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware. Let them quarterback your project with the right tools and supplies for the job. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. And don't forget, they've got the fall mums in stock now. Several different sizes and colors to choose from, so drop by Michael's Hardware at 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville for your holiday decorating needs. Jake Anthony's and Hernan Hernandez drop back deep for the Wildcats, awaiting the kick of Braden Thiel.
Back to receive, number 38, Anthony's. And number 17, Hernandez.
So Cassville's offense set to get the ball for the first time tonight.
Well, we saw last week how big those extra points can be in football games. So a really nice job and a field goal block there by the Wildcats.
Thiel boots this one away down the left hash. Anthony's drops back at his own 6, and he'll bring it out from there. Brings it across the 15, out across the 20, and he is tripped up between the 20 and 25-yard line, and that's where Cassville will start their opening drive of the night.
Anthony's just straight down the middle of the football field with that one. Lowered the shoulder, took the contact at the end of the run.
They're going to spot him down at the 22-yard line. One thing I like about the artificial surface compared to the old turf here at Seneca, the numbers and the hashes are a lot easier to see because they were difficult to see down here for many, many years, especially when you got late in the year when that Bermuda would turn brown.
When it was brown and they used actual chalk to line this field. I remember those days.
Exactly. First down, Cassville running the ball off right tackle. And Cutter Hicks hands the ball to Bryson Jacobson. And Jacobson powers his way ahead for a pickup of a couple, and it'll bring up 2nd down and long. Looks like they're going to say his knee went down at the 23, so it's only going to be a 1-yard pickup, 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, this Wildcat offensive line right here needs to take charge. Get a good push up front, allow these backs some room to work.
6-0 Seneca, 4.5 left to go in the opening quarter. Running the option, they pitch it back, and the ball is bobbled, picked back up by Anthony's, and then he is hammered to the turf at the 24-yard line. Another pickup of only a yard, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
As Hicks pitched the football to Anthony's right there, he just kind of peeked to see where he was going, didn't watch it all the way in. Fortunately for the Wildcats, it hit the ground and bounced right back up to him. Wildcats avoid disaster on that play.
So 3rd down and 8, Cassville facing their first 3rd down conversion try. Alexander goes wide to the right. Hernandez splits out wide to the left. The I formation behind Cutter Hicks. Tight end set to the left side as well. Hicks is going to roll to his left, looking downfield, and the ball is thrown behind Hernandez. Tried a little curl pattern there out around the 35, which would have been good enough for a 1st down, but the pass was a little bit off the mark, and it'll bring up 4th down.
A little bit out in front of Hernandez there. Tough throw to make. Hicks sprinting out to his left, trying to square the shoulders on the run and throw that football. That can be a pretty tough thing for a quarterback to do.
So Hernandez will be set to punt it away, and Connor Ackerson drops back at his own 40-yard line. Hernandez gets a good leg into this one and takes it back to Ackerson. He has to step back to his 39, and he'll bring it out from there. Good coverage by Anthony's along with Hadlow as they quickly get downfield and dropped Ackerson for a return of only about 3.5 yards.
Yeah, really good job there, flying down the football field. Hadlow, I believe, was the first man there. Anthony's helped clean it up. Nice coverage there on the punt.
The only negative side of it is that Seneca will have it with very good field position at their own 44. .36-yard kick, a 4-yard return. 1st and 10 Indians at their own 44-yard line. Seneca leading 6-0. Indians 3 receivers to the right. Napier goes in motion. And Fritchie pitches the ball to Graham. Graham, a big hole around the right end, and he's got running room. He's inside the 40. He has the sideline at the 30, at the 20. It's a foot race with Hernandez, and he will win that race and takes it in for the score.
That's some serious speed right there. Graham able to get to the Seneca sideline and off to the races. Little option play. Fritchie taking the Wildcat defensive end on, pitched the football. Nobody out there for the pitch man as Graham able to get to that Seneca sideline and turn on the Jets. Just exploded down that Indian sideline on the play.
A 56-yard touchdown run by Jackson Graham. He now has 91 yards and a touchdown here in the first quarter. And Seneca extends their lead to 12-0 with 3:25 left to go in quarter number 1. As they score on the very first play after the Cassville punt. Now they're going to try to make up that missed extra point while ago. Fritchie with a little delayed call, trying to sneak his way in behind a couple of blockers, and it does not look like he made it.
Did not make it. Nice job.
He fakes a pitch, and he almost just kind of stood there like he was trying to make the defense think that he had gotten rid of the football, and then he tried to sneak in behind his right tackle, but Cassville Wildcats keep him out of the end zone. So with 3:25 left to go in the opening quarter, Seneca now leads by a score of 12-0. Again, tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware. They'll give your to-do list a game plan that's sure to be a winner. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. They have in stock fall mums right now for your fall decorating needs. Several sizes and colors to choose from, so drop by Michael's Hardware, 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. Well, a rough start for the Wildcats here tonight in Seneca. They're down 12-0 as an extended 15-play, 80-yard drive got the Indians on the board first, and then one play, 56 yards on a breakaway by Graham, and they're out to a 12-0 lead.
Yeah, big plays they're tough, Sammy. And somebody you break contain, you get to the sideline, and when you can run like Graham, you just can't afford to let him get to the outside and get going. You've got to find a way to clip him, get him somehow. Force him back to the defense before he can get going, and you see what happens.
Braden Thiel to kick it away. Line drive kick this time. Anthony's retreats back to his own 3, and he'll bring it out from there. He's across the 15, out across the 20, keeps his feet, and is dropped down shy of the 25-yard line.
A nice return there. Able to go back. The ball was kicked kind of on a line. Anthony's running backward, reached up over his head to catch that football, and up the hash mark he went. Physical run once again on the return.
They put him down just shy of the 23-yard line. That's where Cassville will start the drive here with 3:20 left to go in the first, trailing 12-0. Seneca scored on their first 2 possessions of the night. Cassville had to punt first time they had the football. So here we go with their second offensive possession of the evening. And Cutter Hicks hands it off right tackle. Jacobson is swarmed under after a gain of 1 to the 24.
As I stated earlier, the Indians they're not a big football team. They're smaller, but they're very quick on that defensive line. And right now they're giving this Wildcat offensive line fits. They're just beating him to the punch right now.
Play coming in from the sidelines. Keaton Schellenberger will relay that to Cutter Hicks, who in turn will let the rest of his offense know. Schellenberger goes out wide to the right, and Hernandez will split out wide to the left. They keep Jacobson and Anthony's in the backfield, the I formation. Seneca resets defensively as Cassville readjusts offensively. Rolling to his right, coming out of the backfield. The catch is made by Jacobson out around the 30-yard line, but he was run out of bounds before he could turn it up the sidelines. So it's a short gain, and it'll bring up third down.
Yeah, Jacobson leaking out of the backfield, out into the flat, made a really nice catch. Just a tough ball to get a hold of, back kind of on by his ear hole on his helmet. He was able to secure it, and out of bounds he went. A really nice catch there by Jacobson.
It's a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats. They were unsuccessful on their first 3rd down conversion try. This time the snap goes short. They give it to Hernandez, who wanted to go wide to his left, and then he saw an opening back to his right. He made a nice cutback move, but Seneca quickly collapsed on him at the 30-yard line after a pickup of only 2, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, as Hernandez got the handoff, there was just a wall of red over on the left-hand side, but he saw the same cutback lane we saw here, a huge hole that closed very quickly before Hernandez could pick up that first down.
So 4th down and 3, and Hernandez hits this one off the side of his foot, and it goes into the crowd. Not the spot that you want to have a bad punt, and that's exactly what just happened. And Seneca's going to get the football back at the Cassville 39-yard line, I believe. Yep, 39 is where they spotted it crossing the sideline, so a punt of only 9 yards.
And we talked about how close these stands are to the field. That football actually landed in the walkway in front of the front row in the stands. Just off his foot, trying to angle the punt. You know, he's punting on the near hash. It's a kind of a rugby style again, kind of already heading this way. And when he punted that football, you could just see it immediately off the side of his foot and headed this way. I thought Todd was going to have to make a play on it.
Or at least protect the camera, one or the other.
Right.
So 1st and 10 Indians at the Cassville 39, and the Wildcats call for a timeout. Seneca leading 12-0 here with less than 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. The Wildcats want to talk things over here defensively. Tonight's ball game brought to you in part by Les Jacobs Ford. Your choice for genuine Ford service and parts. They're your hometown dealership with hometown roots. They're proud to be giving back to the community. Les Jacobs Ford in Cassville says go Wildcats. Tonight's Apple and Google phone apps, as always, brought to you by White Funeral Home. You can listen to the Wildcats on those free apps, courtesy of White Funeral Home and Crematory. Let them help lighten your load.
Coach Parnell calling that timeout to talk to his defense once again. Try to slow some momentum down that these Seneca Indians have taken really from the opening drive. 12-0 score, still in the first quarter, and they've got great field position to start their 3rd drive of this game.
Cassville going to try to keep Seneca from taking advantage of that short punt. Indians 1st and 10 from the Wildcat 39. They go unbalanced right. Napier goes in motion that direction. They pitch the ball to Mars this time. Mars with some room around the edge as he gets inside the 35. Cassville defender gets to his legs. And that was Ethan Fox. As he was able to slow him down, he was able to pick up yardage down to the 33-yard line, a pickup of nearly 6.
Frisker, he's reading the Wildcat defensive end as the end is coming up the field. He's reading the end. He's making that pitch. But the Indians, they've got a receiver out there getting a chip block and a block on the outside linebacker, which is allowing the Seneca running backs to get to the edge and turn upfield.
This time twin receivers to the left. Graham comes in motion. They've got a couple of running backs that way, and he's going to run in behind those backs, makes a cutback at the 34, and slices his way down inside the 30, down close to the 25-yard line. Well, we've seen both teams try to utilize the cutback move here tonight, and so far Seneca's been a little more successful at it as they pick up a first down at the Cassville 25.
Graham just very explosive, very quick with the ball in his hands. Not a big back, 105, 860 pounds, but when he gets the football, he's elusive. It's hard to get a good hit on, and when he turns the burners on, look out.
30 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Seneca leading 12-0. They give the ball to Jackson Mars this time. Mars bounces off a couple of defenders, tries to get it to the outside, but Schellenberger brings him down just shy of the 20 at the 21 after a pickup of 4.
Mars, sophomore back, similar size really to Graham, both listed 5'8", 160. And both very quick when they put the foot in the ground and they want to change direction. Boy, it happens in a hurry.
It brings up about a 2nd down and 5 for Seneca at the Cassville 21-yard line. Fritchie this time wanted to pitch to Mars. Now he's going to run it himself. Maybe it was a fake all the way. Fritchie dives inside the 15 down to the 14, picks up 7 yards and picks up what appears to be a first down, and it is.
Yeah, just a design quarterback kind of counter there as Fritchie faked the toss to the right and then came back in a counter motion back to off the left tackle there and picked up the first down.
That will be the final play of quarter number 1. After 12 minutes of play here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium, the Seneca Indians lead the Cassville Wildcats 12-0. We'll take a quick break and be back with quarter number 2. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you here in Seneca. The Indians lead the Wildcats 12-0. Tonight's second quarter is brought to you by Roark Diesel. They've been providing Cassville and surrounding area with high-performance diesel products since 2006. Find them online at roarkdiesel.com or give them a call, 847-6560. Roark Diesel, just north of Cassville on Highway 37. Indians have it inside the Cassville 20, and Seneca going to run the football. Quarterback Ethan Fritchie, the ball comes free. We didn't hear a whistle. And now we do, and it is a turnover. It looked like Fritchie was really close to being down, but the whistle had not blown. He fumbles the football, and Cassville takes over at their own 16.5-yard line.
Just the play the Wildcats needed right there. Defense comes up big with a turnover. Fritchie trying to go off the left side, took a shot. Wildcat linebacker got around his leg, and then here came the cavalry, made the hit. Ball came out right at the tail end of the play. Wildcats fall on it. Huge play right there for this Wildcat defense.
So Cassville takes over at their own 16 with 11:53 to go here before half. They trail the Indians by a score of 12-0. Seneca scoring on their first 2 possessions of the night, but on possession number 3, they turn it over deep in Cassville territory. Now the Wildcats will have to protect the football. They pitch it back to Anthony's, trying to get to the edge, and he has his legs taken out from underneath him by Morgan Vaughn. And it looks like they're going to spot Anthony's down at about the 18-yard line after a pickup of only 2.
Well, this Indian defense is very quick, and they're just covered just sideline to sideline. Wildcats again trying to run a little option there. Hicks taking the first defender, and by the time he makes the pitch to Anthony's, there's a linebacker right in his legs. They're just flying to the ball right now.
Seneca with a 4-man front, and we've got whistles at the snap of the football, and we've got a penalty flag thrown on the far side by the side judge. And he checks with the referee, and it is going to be a procedure penalty against the Wildcats. So that will back them up 5 yards as they go back to the 13.
That'll make it second down and 14.
Wildcats don't want to be playing football behind the chains all night tonight, especially against a defense that moves as well as this Indian defense does. Again, this Indian football team, they don't impress you with their size. What they do impress you with is how quick they are once that football snaps.
So second down and nearly 15 to go for Cassville, back at their own 13-yard line. Hicks looking to throw, sets the feet and overthrows the intended receiver, Hernandez.
Trying to hit Hernandez on a deep slant right there. Hernandez coming towards the middle of the football field, and that ball was well overthrown. A lot of Seneca red out there in the pass route as well.
So another third down situation facing the Wildcats inside their own 15-yard line. 10:43 left to go before halftime. Seneca leading 12-0. Again, tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel, just north of Cassville on Highway 37. Find them online at roarkdiesel.com. Twin receivers out to the right now for the Wildcats. Hadlow resets around to the left, and Cassville going to run that direction as they hand it off to Anthony's, and a hole opens up as he blasts out to the 19-yard line. But just like on pass carries, the hole collapses quickly. And that goes back to that speed on the defensive side for the Indians that you've been talking about. Anthony's was able to pick up 6 yards, which was a nice pickup, but it's going to bring up 4th down and 8.
This Wildcat offense just really hasn't been able to get in a rhythm, in a flow of this football game, and a lot of that is, again, due to the speed of the Indian defense.
Hernandez does a nice job fielding the snap off the turf, gets the punt away, and Ackerson catches it at the Seneca 47. Takes it across the 50 to the Cassville 48. So it's a return of about 5 yards, and the Indians will once again be starting on the Cassville side of midfield.
Yeah, and once again, not a lot of rest for this Wildcat defense. They've been on the field a long time tonight. Offense just hasn't been able to sustain and pick up first downs and move the football a little bit, give their defense a break.
Yeah, Cassville only had the ball that time for about 2 minutes, and they had to give it back over to the Indians. Seneca on first down, going to do the end around to Graham. Graham's got a blocker in front, but Cassville's defense does a good job collapsing on him. Keaton Schellenberger and Isaac Hadlow didn't go for the faking in the backfield, and they stopped Graham after a short pickup down to the 44.
Schellenberger, Hadlow in on the play as well. A lot of action in the backfield there. Wide receivers and running backs crisscrossing. Graham ends up with the football, but really nice play there by the Wildcat linebackers.
So second down and about 8 to go for the Indians at the Cassville 44. The Indians pitch the ball to Graham. Graham running to the short side of the field, trying to fight for that first down marker, which is down around the 36-yard line. He stopped short of that first down as he is able to take it inside the 40 to the 39, picks up 5 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
Again, Frisker running the option there, pitching to Graham. Graham trying to get to that Indian sideline and get the corner turn, forced out of bounds there by Hernandez.
Graham over 100 yards rushing here in the first half. Seneca leads at 12-0, and the Indians on 3rd and short. They're 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversion tries. Napier sliding down the line. Fritchie takes the snap, going to run the ball, trying to turn the corner, and Cassville a really good job of pursuit, flowing down the line of scrimmage, and they drop Fritchie for no gain, and it's going to bring up 4th down. It may have even lost a half a yard.
Yeah, I believe that was Ethan Lamborn, defensive end on that side, able to get in the middle of Fritchie and bring him down for a loss. Good play.
They've run it several times where Napier starts to flow prior to the snap of the football, but if you start watching him too much, then they come back at you against the grain. So it's a difficult offense to keep tabs on, but Cassville doing a better job this time for the defensive side. And now Fritchie going for it on 4th down, and flags come out all over the place as there was a lot of movement on the far side of the field.
Yeah, the Indians moving a little before that snap.
It was 4th and 2, and now it's going to be 4th and 7.
4th and 7. The Indians, they'll probably go for it here, as well as their defense has been playing.
4th and about 7.5 yards from the Cassville 45-yard line.
Yeah, they're lining up, I believe, to go for it. Let's see if there's a pooch kick or something here, and that looks like what the Indians are going to do.
Yeah, if Richie drops back an extra 4 or 5 yards and gets the little pooch kick away, it bounces at the 17 and backs up, and then starts to roll forward once again and is down at the 16. So you don't see many when they hit and back up, then reverse and go the opposite direction, but that one did. As it had a lot of English on it, it'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats at their own 16-yard line.
Now, once again, this Wildcat defense getting a stop, turning it back over to the offense. Offense has got to find a way to get in a little bit of a flow here and move the chains, give their defense a little break.
Seneca was able to take a couple of more minutes off the clock, so Cassville gets it back with 8:23 left to go here in the first half, trailing 12-0. Wildcats looking to throw. Hicks stops, lets one fly, and he threw it into triple coverage, and it was nearly intercepted. Trying to thread one through a tiny window to Hernan Hernandez, and it was nearly picked off by Dane Napier.
Yeah, great coverage by the Indians there, and just a really ill-advised throw right there. The Wildcats very fortunate that ball was not intercepted.
So Cassville facing 2nd down and 10 now from their own 16. Down 12-0 with a little over 8 minutes left to go before halftime.
2nd down and 10.
This is the Wildcats' 4th possession of the first half. They've had to punt on the previous 3. This time running the football. Quick hitter off left tackle. And Bryson Jacobson's able to fight forward across the 20 out to the 21, and he picks up 5 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Yeah, Cassville just has not had any success on 1st down tonight. 2nd longs. It's just really tough to get things going when you don't have success on 1st down of a drive.
Hicks this time operating from the shotgun, rolling to his left, fires it to Hernandez, and it's in and out of his hands at the 42-yard line. Finally, a pass is put right on the money, and the receiver this time couldn't haul it in for what would have been more than enough yardage for a 1st down. It'll bring up 4th down and long.
Really was. Nice route there. Hernandez very sure-handed. You don't see that happen from him very often, and he's not happy with himself right now, but the ball was dropped right in there. Hernandez just not able to secure the catch.
And that was, again, a tough throw by Hicks, rolling to his left after the throw back across the body, but he put it right in the hole. So Hernandez set to punt it away, gets a good leg into this one, bounces at the 44-yard line. Return man Ackerson gets away from it. It rolls inside the 40, still rolling, and it's down to around the 38-yard line of the Indians, and that's where they'll take over.
Boy, kind of a line drive kick right there, and the ball just really did not roll for him. It hit and bounced straight up in the air. Might have got another yard and a half on the roll. But a line drive kick like that, you really kind of expect it to hit and go, especially on turf.
It still ends up being about a 41-yard kick, but you're exactly right. The way it was going, you'd think it might still be going down inside the 20, but the Indians will have it at their own 38. 7:20 left to go before halftime. Seneca on top 12-0. Fritchie hands the ball off to Graham, trying to break it to the outside, turns the corner, he's across the 50, makes a cut back at the 40, making a man miss at the 30, spins away from another one at the 25 and takes it all the way down to the 20-yard line. Boy, that was a highlight reel run there by Jackson Graham. He did a little bit of everything on that carry.
Well, the Indians were able to collapse that side of the Wildcat defensive line. Graham just went off the left side, able to bounce it outside, and kind of worked his way back towards the middle of the football field, broke a tackle. An impressive run, and that's what speed is. He just had the Wildcats on their heels right there.
A 41-yard run for Jackson Graham. 1st and 10, Seneca at the Cassville 20. Now Mars makes a guy miss. behind the line of scrimmage and is able to squirt free for positive yardage. Looks like they had him for about a yard and a half loss, and the next thing you know, he's picking up 3 or 4 yards as they spot him down at the 17.
Yeah, Mars trying to go off that left side. Wildcats had a linebacker shoot through. They were able to get their hands on Mars, just not able to get him down. And again, the Seneca running back's able to turn nothing into something.
So halfway through the second quarter, Seneca with a 12-0 lead, and they've got it 2nd down and 7 at the Cassville 17-yard line. High snap this time to Fritchie, brings it down, pitches it to Mars. Mars cuts back at the 15, takes it down to the 10, a penalty flag thrown right at the 10-yard line. Might see an illegal block here downfield. We'll see if the Wildcats can be helped out by an offensive penalty, and it is a holding call against the Indians.
Well, again, Wildcats catch a break there by a penalty against the Indians. But the Indians, they're doing a really nice job of getting Graham and Mars in space with the football. They're running that option play. Fritchie bringing the defensive end in. He's pitching the football, and whether it's Graham or whether it's Mars, there's not a Wildcat defender within 4 or 5 yards of them. And I tell you what, trying to tackle in the open field is tough, but as quick as these guys are, it's really tough.
Trip receivers come wide to the right. Fritchie has Mars along with him in the backfield, and he gives the ball to Jackson Mars. Mars a stutter step at the line of scrimmage and then falls forward to the 19 for a gain of only 1. Cassville's defensive line did a nice job there, collapsing on the ball carrier. Cosmo Rhodes, one of the players in on the tackle there for the Wildcats.
Big tackle, Bryson Hendricks, first man there, good play.
So it brings up 3rd down and 9 now for the Indians. They started off 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversion tries. They missed their last one and facing 3rd and long here. Fritchie fakes the pass, and now he's going to run. Lots of green around the left end. He's down to the 10-yard line. And we'll see. They check to the sidelines. Looks like the knee's going to come down at the 11 for a gain of 6, and he's going to come up about a yard short.
Well, Jacobson able to bring Fritchie down, but just a design quarterback run there. Took the ball out of shotgun, kind of did a pump fake to the wide receiver, and then just took off on the left side, nearly picking up the 1st down. Kept a little bit short there by Jacobson.
So a little less than a yard to go on 4th down for the Indians. They failed on their first 4th down conversion try. This time Fritchie collides with Mars. He's going to be hit in the backfield and drop for a loss. Bryson Jacobson got into the Seneca quarterback, and the Wildcats hold on downs, and Fritchie and Mars collided in the backfield, and that kind of disrupted everything, and Jacobson, quick off the snap, was able to get to the quarterback and drop him.
Yeah, that collision threw off the timing of the play. Jacobson putting that shoulder inside of his head right in the breadbasket of Frisky and brought him down. Nice hit right there.
So Cassville takes over on downs at their own 12-yard line. So once again, the Wildcats deep in their own territory will have to protect the football. They take over with 4:18 left to go in the half, trailing 12-0.
Another nice job by this Wildcat defense. 3 drives in a row, a turnover, and then 2 turnovers on downs.
Hernandez and Alexander come wide to the left. Hicks is going to run the football after faking the handoff up the middle. Takes it out to about the 17-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 5.
Well, this is a big series in this game here. 4 minutes until halftime. Wildcats offense still trying to get something going. Nearly had a big play in the previous series in the passing game. But they desperately need to try to get something going right here heading into halftime.
So 2nd and 5 at their own 17. They go unbalanced right. Hicks looking to throw. Back against the grain. And we've got a collision between Anthony's and the defensive back, Ethan Altick. And Altick made contact beyond the 5-yard window down the field as he gave Anthony's a shove, and a flag comes out at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Anthony's running the wheel route out of the Wildcat backfield down the Wildcat sideline. And just illegal touching or pushing by the Seneca defense on Anthony's as he was trying to get down the field. The Wildcats now they've got a little breathing room right here. 3.5 minutes to go until halftime.
So the Wildcats down by 12. The ball is moved out to the 32-yard line after the 15-yard penalty against the Indians. I formation behind Hicks of Jacobson and Anthony's. Hicks looking to throw a quick hitter, and the slant goes through the hands of Hernandez. Incomplete, and it'll bring up second down.
And that's just not something that's very unusual out of Hernandez. We haven't seen him drop footballs this season. Hernandez took a couple of weeks ago, took a vicious shot on an overthrown football, really got laid out for a few plays. And you just wonder if that's not still affecting him a little bit. It happens, and sometimes it just lingers.
Handoff goes to the tailback, Jake Anthony's, and he fights his way across the 35 out to the 37. Good pickup by Jake Anthony's. And it turns a 2nd and long into a 3rd and short.
Yeah, good run there. Good hard run by Anthony's right between the tackles. Just downhill he went.
It does bring up 3rd down, though, for Cassville at their own 38-yard line.
They need a conversion right here. Move those chains. 3 minutes to go until halftime now.
Trailing 12-0 after the rough start in the first quarter. Seneca jumping out to that quick 12-0 lead less than 6 minutes into the ball game. That's still where we stand here with 3 minutes to go before the break. The pass is underthrown, and it's intercepted by Dane Napier. He was reading the eyes of the quarterback, comes up with the pick at midfield, and returns it all the way back to the Cassville 25-yard line.
Yeah, it's a timing play right there, and it's designed to be very quick. And when it's not there, you've got to do something else with the football. It just wasn't open immediately. Hicks tried to wait for him to clear the linebackers, but the linebacker just dropped with him. And the ball was laid out there. Easy interception there by the Indian defender. And Seneca with the ball deep in Wildcat territory now.
They take over at the 25 after the interception return of nearly 25 yards by Dane Napier. He nearly had a pick earlier along the Cassville sideline, and that time he did come up with the interception. So each team has turned the ball over here in the first half. The pitch goes to Graham, and Graham has his legs taken out from underneath him by Hernandez. Good job by Hernandez, taking on a blocker and then getting to the ball carrier, Jackson Graham.
Yeah, these Indian wide receivers have done a good job in that option game, blocking on the edge. And you called it, Hernandez taking on that blocker with his right arm, able to dive and get into the wheels of Graham to bring him down there. Good play.
It's a gain of 3, 2nd down and 7 for the Indians. They lead it 12-0. We're down to 2 minutes left to go before halftime. Twin receivers to the right. They've got a lone man out to the left. He comes in motion. That's Graham. They fake the handoff to him. Fritchie looking to throw. He's going to the end zone. He's got Ackerson underneath the goal post. He goes up in the air and comes down with the football. Touchdown, Seneca. Well, Ackerson had all of that receiving yardage a year ago against the Wildcats. That is the first time he has touched the ball tonight on the offensive side. He's been a return man in the kicking game, but he brings that one in for a Seneca score.
Ackerson, nice right there, was able to get good position inside the Wildcat cornerback. Safety not there. Ball delivered nicely. Ackerson goes up in the air, brings it down in the end zone.
So Seneca extends their lead. It is now 18-0 Indians, and Braden Thiel kicks this one up and through. He had his first extra point blocked, then they went for 2 and were unsuccessful. That time Thiel's PAT is through the uprights, and with 1:55 left to go here in the first half, Seneca now leading 19-0.
This Wildcat defense, the 3 previous series, able to get the football back for the offense. This time, the offense just gave the ball back. You can't keep putting your defense in those positions. And Indians make a good play, score another touchdown here.
Again, tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. Since 2006, they've been providing a huge selection of diesel performance products to Cassville and the surrounding area. Call Roark Diesel at 847-6560 or find them online, roarkdiesel.com, or you can drop by the shop on Highway 37 just north of Cassville. So Seneca scored 2 quick touchdowns to start the game, and now they score one late in the first half, and they lead it 19-0. after Cassville had forced a turnover, a punt, and another turnover on downs. The Wildcats then on their first turnover of the half. Seneca set up at the 25 of the Wildcats, and they were able to punch it in for the score and take advantage of the turnover. So Braden Thiel will tee it up, set to kick it away to Hernandez or Anthony's. They are back at their own 10-yard line awaiting the kick of the Indians. Thiel, a high short kick, fielded at the 20-yard line by Alexander. Now he drops it, picks it back up, retreats to the 15, and is going to be dropped at about the 17 or 18-yard line.
Yeah, high kick right there, end over end, short but high. That coverage unit flying down the field. Alexander not able to secure it initially, able to pick it up. By that time, he tried to work his way back towards the middle of the football field, just nowhere to go with the ball.
Looks like they're going to place it down about the 18-yard line with 1:49 left to play here in the half. Seneca leading 19-0. Cassville again starting deep in their own territory, and they've been plagued by poor field position throughout the first half. Hernandez comes wide to the left. Hicks lets him get set, now sneaks under center. Hands the ball off to the tailback, Anthony's. Right up the middle, Anthony's. They're reaching in, trying to rip the ball away. Jake is able to hang on to it and fight his way out to the 20. They give him progress across the 20 to the 22-yard line. It's a gain of nearly 4, but we've got a flag thrown against the Wildcats, and that's going to take away the 4-yard gain by Jake Anthony's.
Yeah, procedure penalty. The Wildcats offensively just really out of sync tonight, Sammy. Just really, I'm not sure. Have they made it past midfield tonight at this point? I'm not sure that they've got into Indian territory.
No, they have not.
Just really unable to get anything going so far in this game.
So 1st and 15 from the 13 now. The Wildcats running around the right end. Again, it's Jake Anthony's, and this time he fights his way back out to around the 20. We'll see where they spot him down. Looks like they're going to place the football at the 19 after a gain of 6. Closing in on 1 minute left to go here before halftime. Seneca on top 19-0.
Just straight ahead with Anthony's right there. Again, running hard. Offensive line got some push on the right side right there. Anthony's got in behind him. Nice gain there.
Jake Anthony's doing a really good job hanging on to that ball as Seneca players are trying to reach in and strip it away. He gets the call again on 2nd down and long, and this time he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. He is able to push forward for a gain of 1, but that's going to bring up 3rd down.
Timeout on the field, and I believe it was called by the Indians. They want this football back before halftime.
Cassville faced with 3rd down and 8. The timeout brought to you by Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. Any bank can cash checks, accept deposits, and make loans, but the distinguishing factor between banks is their level of service to the customer. Whether it's a loan decision or the processing of your bank statement, all the decisions and services of the Security Bank folks are generated right there by the local bank staff in a prompt, fair, and professional manner. Security Bank of Southwest Missouri, member FDIC. 19-0, Seneca with the lead. 46 seconds left to go before halftime, and Cassville facing 3rd down and 8 at their own 20-yard line. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Les Jacobs Ford. They've got factory-certified technicians to care for your vehicle. Remember, you can trust Les Jacobs Ford. They say go Wildcats.
3rd down and 8.
So here we go. Cassville looking for that first 3rd down conversion of the half. They're 0 for 5 up to this point, and Hicks is going to give it to Anthony's right up the middle. Big hole. He's across the 25 and out close to the 27-yard line. Looks like he's going to come up about a yard short. Good run by Anthony's as he is able to pick up 7 yards.
Yeah, and a good job up front right there. Wildcat offensive line, getting a nice push there, clearing the way. Just power football right at the Indian defense. I mean, right at the middle of it.
It will be 4th down and 1 from the Cassville 27, and we got another timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. Security Bank, everyone has debit cards and ATMs, mobile banking, but at Security Bank of Exeter, Wheaton, and Cassville, you sit across from a neighbor. Security Bank, member FDIC. Some of the other scores around the Big 8. Lamar's got a 42-6 lead at Monette over the Cubs. Aurora leading Marshfield 16-13. Mount Vernon on top of Catholic 7-0. Nevada has an early 28-0 lead over the Patriots. McDonald County 14-6 leading Reed Spring. And Rogersville on top of Hollister 7-6. All of those games, with the exception of one of those scores, are second half scores. Second quarter scores. Thank you, sir. We're late in the second quarter here at Seneca. The Indians leading 19-0. Cassville facing 4th and 1. Seneca showing blitz. Cassville trying to get him to jump. And now Cutter Hicks takes another peek at offensive coordinator Clay Weldy, and now they're going to run the play. Hicks keeps it himself. He's got the first down out to the 30-yard line. Keeps the drive alive and keeps the ball away from the Indians.
Yeah, good job there, Hicks. Faking to the fullback, then just kind of stepped around him, picking up that first down. Big play there, 4th down deep in their own territory. And just as you said, it keeps the ball away from the Indian offense.
30 seconds left to go before halftime. Cassville picking up their first down of the first half. They trail it 19-0. Hernandez goes wide to the right. Schellenberger out wide to the left. Hicks up under center. Fakes it to Anthony's, looking to throw. Gives it to Anthony's, and he is hammered. The ball comes free. It's scooped up by the Indians, and they will take it in, but they're going to call an incomplete pass as Lincoln Renfro, linebacker, picked up the loose football, but they said Anthony's never had control, and the pass will go incomplete.
Yeah, just a vicious lick. Anthony's got off the field and had to find his helmet, put it back on. As Seneca defender just kind of leaked out there, had his eyes, he was spying on Anthony's the whole time, trying to set up a little screen to him. Hicks floated the football there, and by the time the ball hit him, he was taking a shot. And that's the right call. If Fisher made the right call, he did not secure that football.
And the side judge was right there on top of things, making the call from the outset. So it brings up 2nd down and 10 from the Cassville 30 with 9 seconds left to go here before the break. Hicks this time, hands it off, and a good job by Fox as he spins out across the 35, but then as he gets to the 40, he gets the pads laid to him by a Seneca linebacker. He hangs on to the football, and that will be the final play of the first half.
Well, a good run there by Fox. He took a shot in the leg, was able to maintain his balance on the spin move, but just as he was coming out of that, great job of hanging onto the football. He took a shot, and it looked like it was the Indian safety on the play, and that was 22. That was Morgan Vaughn. So just put a big lick right on Fox and hung on the football, but, man, that was a wicked shot.
It was not a linebacker. It was a defensive back for the Indians, but Fox is able to keep possession of the football and avoid the turnover. We have reached halftime here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium. They head to the locker room. The Indians leading the Wildcats 19-0. We'll take a break and be back with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. I forgot where. No, the 40. They had to get to the 40. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back here in Seneca at Earl D. Campbell Stadium. We are at halftime. The Indians leading the Cassville Wildcats 19-0. It's time for tonight's Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, family-owned and operated in Golden, Missouri. They've been serving customers in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas since 1961. Drop by and see Mark and the gang or find them online at shoemakertire.com. Well, it's been all Indians here in the first half. Seneca jumped out to an early 12-0 lead with a couple of touchdowns early on in the first quarter. A 5-yard run by Ethan Fritchie. PAT was blocked, made it 6-0 Indians in the first quarter of play. And then a 56-yard run by Jackson Graham. 2-point conversion attempt failed, and it was 12-0 Seneca. And then with 1:55 left to go in the first half after a Cassville turnover, the Indians converted on a 22-yard pass from Fritchie to Connor Ackerson. And it's 19-0 after the PAT by Thiel here at the break. Seneca came out with a lot of momentum in that first 4 or 5 minutes of the football game, and it's funny how early momentum can turn into success through an entire half, but the Indians took that early momentum and rode it for the first 24 minutes here tonight, and they lead 19-0 at the break.
Yeah, they've had a great game plan. They've taken the Wildcats completely out of the game as far as the Wildcat offensive standpoint, just really have not been able to get any momentum, anything going offensively. They're talking about it at halftime right now. They're again, what are you seeing? This is what we need to do. Make adjustments. There's another half of football left, but the Wildcats are going to have to play much, much better offensively. The defense, they've given up 19 points, but the defense, after the first 2 drives the Indians had, the defense has played pretty well. They were put in a bad spot by the offense, turning it over, and, giving them a short field. But overall, in the first half, the defense didn't do too bad. There were some things that Coach Parnell, obviously, he was calling a couple of early timeouts to talk about things he didn't like what he was seeing out there. But, there were 3 drives in a row. Wildcats, forced a punt, had a turnover, and then turned them over on downs. And this is a good offense, and we've seen explosion out of them tonight as far as these running backs go. And, they've done – it's been like you say, it's been all Seneca here in the first half, and Wildcats have got to find a way to put something together offensively here in the second half.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the defense, because I was going to bring up the same point. They took a couple of haymakers early on, that 5-minute, 80-yard drive, and Seneca scores on their first possession. And then after a short punt, 1 play, touchdown again, and boy, you suddenly find yourself in a 12-0 hole. But then they settled in. They forced a fumble. They forced a punt. They forced a turnover on downs. The defense kind of got things going much more effective there in the second quarter. But back to your other point, the offense was sputtering through the entire first half as a turnover, 2 3-and-outs. They had a couple of drives that were starting to get extended, including that one right before halftime when they were starting to get out of a hole. But field position's been plaguing them all night long. They've been inside their own 25, starting just about every drive. And Seneca's been able to take advantage of that because they've got an aggressive defense anyway. And then when you've got a team back in their own end of the field, you can kind of pin your ears back every once in a while and take a little gamble every now and then. And that's what Seneca's been doing. So Cassville's, as you pointed out, you have to try a way to get the offense a little more consistent and start moving the ball and get it away from their own end zone.
And, first half, it just kind of appeared, it just appeared like the Indians were playing in a different gear than the Wildcats were able to get into. They just looked quicker on the field. They're able to kind of beating the Wildcats to the spot, so to speak. And they're a fired up bunch. You could see it before the game started. You could see them bouncing around on that sideline. They were ready and fired up, ready to go. Haven't seen a lot of that fire on the Wildcat side tonight. They're going to have to find a way to conjure some of that up, and if they want to get back in this game and make it competitive.
19-0 here at the half in Seneca between the Indians and the Wildcats. It's halftime at Monette. Lamar leading the Cubs 45-6. A couple of other halftime scores. Mount Vernon and Springfield Catholic knotted up at 7 apiece up in Mount Vernon, and Nevada has a 28-0 lead at East Newton over the Patriots. Late first half scores, McDonald County on top of Reed Spring 14-6. That game not too far from here down in Anderson, Missouri. Rogersville at home has a 21-19 lead over Hollister, and Aurora at home leads Marshfield 16-13. We're going to take another break here at Seneca and be back with some of the first half numbers. The Indians lead the Wildcats 19-0 here at the break as we continue on with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. Shoemaker Tire, over 50 years of taking care of their customers like no one else. Call Shoemaker Tire, 417-271-3490. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. The score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. The next time you attend a high school game, think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Remember, the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities tomorrow. Sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care, with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. We continue on with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show here from Seneca. Shoemaker Tire, people you can trust for tires. Find them online at shoemakertire.com. They're located at Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri, or give them a call, 417-271-3490. 19-0, Seneca leading the Cassville Wildcats here at the break. Looking at some of the stats from the first half, we'll go over the team numbers first. Seneca 21 rushes for 216 yards. The Indians completed both of their passes for 53 yards for a total of 269 yards of offense. Seneca with 11 first downs. They had one turnover on a fumble. They were penalized 3 times for 35 yards and punted once for 30 yards. Cassville limited to 14 carries for 55 yards. The Wildcats completed 1 of 8 passes for 4 yards for a total of 59 yards of offense. They picked up only 1 first down. They had 1 turnover on an interception. Cassville penalized twice for 10 yards, and they punted 4 times for a 30-yard average. The Indians, led by Jackson Graham, 152 yards unofficially on 12 carries and a touchdown. Jackson Mars, 37 yards on 8 carries. And Ethan Fritchie, 27 yards on 8 carries and a touchdown. Connor Ackerson has 1 catch for 25 yards. That was good for a touchdown. And Jackson Mars has 1 catch for 28 yards. Cassville led on the ground by Jake Anthony's 29 yards on 7 carries. Cutter Hicks, 8 yards on 2 carries. Bryson Jacobson, 7 yards on 3 carries, and Ethan Fox had 1 carry for 9 yards. And it was the 1 catch coming from Jacobson as well, and that was good for 4 yards. So the Wildcats being limited offensively through the first 2 quarters of play, but they only trail 19-0. The game is still within striking distance if they can get some momentum going coming out of the locker room, and they are going to get the football.
They get the football first coming out. The Wildcats had struggled in the passing game. They struggled trying to get to the edge with the speed of the Indian defense, which we did see at the end of the half. You started to see the Wildcats and Anthony's run straight at this defense, pick up 6 yards, 5 yards. The offensive line was getting a push when they're trying to road grade just straight ahead. Might need to see more of that here in the second half and just run right at them. That's where the Wildcats were able to gain some of the yardage that they picked up here in the first half.
Wildcats and the Indians are both back out of the locker room going through their warm-ups as we get ready to start the second half of play. Beautiful evening for high school football here in week number 7. You don't get many 65 to 70 degree nights in the 7th week of the season once you start moving into the month of October, but that's what we are experiencing here tonight. So a lot of folks on hand to witness this one. We appreciate all the folks that are listening on the radio or online as well to our broadcast here tonight, and we've still got 2 more quarters of football here from Earl D. Campbell Stadium in Seneca. The Indians lead the Wildcats 19-0. We'll step aside one more time as we wrap up tonight's halftime show. Halftime brought to you as always by Shoemaker Tire. You can count on tires from Shoemaker Tire, and you've been doing that since 1961. Mark and the gang will have you up and running in no time flat when you need a new set of tires or just when you have no time for a flat. Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. We'll take a break and be back with the start of the 3rd quarter. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back in Seneca. Todd Speakman alongside on CassvilleWebTV.com. 19-0. The Indians lead the Wildcats here as we get set to start the third quarter. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where they specialize in new, used, and custom-built pallets. They're backing the Wildcats all the way. In God we trust is their motto at J&M Pallet Company. Phone 847-6732. Tonight's broadcast also brought to you in part by MedicareDoneRight.net. Eric Seifert, your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare health insurance plans. Find out more by going to MedicareDoneRight.net. And Les Jacobs Ford, with years of auto body repair experience, Les Jacobs Ford is your choice for collision repair. Just give Duell and the boys a call at Les Jacobs Ford. They say go Wildcats. Braden Thiel will tee it up for Seneca and get set to kick it away to Cassville. Jake Anthony's and Hernan Hernandez drop back deep, awaiting the Indian kickoff as we get set to start the second half. 19-0, Indians with the lead. Thiel gets a short kick, fielded at the 17-yard line by Anthony's, trying to get to the opposite side of the field, spun down, and as he's trying to pull free, his knee touches the ground, and the play is blown dead back at around the 22 or 23-yard line.
Anthony's trying to go from the left hash across the field, trying to get to that wall of blockers over there, just not quite able to get there. The Wildcats look like they may have had it set up, just not quite able to get there.
We're going to call it the 23, and it'll be 1st and 10 Cassville. Wildcats down 19-0 as we start the second half of play. They were down 12-0 though early on in this one, and then gave up a late score right before halftime. Ball is pitched back to Anthony's, trying to get to the sideline. Seneca has 4 defenders chasing down the line of scrimmage, and they string it out and drop Anthony's for a short gain.
Wildcats with 2 wide receivers. Hernandez in the slot, Alexander out wide. They run the toss sweep to the wide side of the field with Anthony's trying to get those guys to out there to block in front of him, but just good pursuit there by the Indians. Anthony's did a nice job to get the corner turned and pick up some positive yardage there.
He is able to pick up 4 yards. It brings up 2nd down and 6. Hicks looking to throw underneath. The ball goes to Hernandez, and the defense is right there. And that was Connor Ackerson, timing it pretty well. May have arrived just a little bit early, but no flag on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, the Wildcats, one of their favorite plays to run in the passing game is that quick slant. Hernandez had the position, was able to get in front of Ackerson. Ackerson ended up right in his hip pocket, able to knock that football away.
So Cassville 0 for 6 on 3rd down conversion tries in the first half, facing their first 3rd down attempt here in the second half. 3rd down and 6 inside their own 30-yard line. Running the football and diving off right tackle out to the 31 is Jake Anthony's. It's a pickup of about 4.5 yards, and it'll bring up 4th down and 1.
4th and 1, long one. The Wildcats thought about it for a minute, but ultimately they run the punt team out on the field here.
So Hernan Hernandez set to kick it away. Seneca does not drop anyone back as they're not really buying that Cassville's going to punt, even though they are deep in their own territory. Snap is a low one. Hernandez gets it away, nearly blocked, but he gets away a good kick. Bounces at the 36 and then rolls inside the 25, still rolling all the way down to the 21-yard line.
Nice job right there. Hernandez hung on to the football a while, letting that coverage unit fly down the field, was able to get it away. Spiraling somewhat, it hit the ground, took a nice Wildcat roll there. Indians will take over right around their own 21-yard line here.
A 49-yard kick, no return, and Seneca has it. This time deep in their own territory. They enjoyed a lot of good field position in the first half, but now starting inside their own 25. 19-0, the Indians with the lead. Napier goes in motion. Fritchie pitches the ball to Jackson Graham, running in behind the blocking of Napier, trying to get to the edge, and Cassville's defense is right there to meet the Seneca ball carrier as he turns the corner, and he is able to pick up only about a half a yard. It's going to bring up 2nd down and long.
Yeah, much better job right there by this Wildcat defense of stretching Graham towards the sideline, not letting him get turned and head down the field. Good job right there.
Jackson Graham with 152 yards rushing in the first half, but held to only about a half a yard on his first carry of the second half. So second down, and we'll call it 10 for the Indians at their own 21-yard line. Man comes in motion, fake the handoff to him, and up the middle comes the ball carrier, Jackson Mars. Weaves his way out across the 25, keeps the legs pushing forward out to the 30-yard line, and comes up close to a first down. We'll see where they spot the football. Looks like they're going to spot it just short of the first down marker. It'll be up third down and less than a yard to go.
You know, we talked about these list of Seneca running backs. It goes back a long, long time. And you had made the comment in the vehicle over here that, you know, they've got that senior guy who's just, you know, dynamite, and they always have that sophomore waiting in the wings to take over the next year. And Mars, sophomore back running behind Jackson Graham, and he looks to be a good one.
So third and short from around the 30-yard line. Fritchie hands it off, and Cassville's defense is in the Seneca backfield and racks up Jackson Mars for a loss back at the 29, and it'll bring up fourth down.
It looked like Schellenberger there met Mars and brought him down. Good job, and the way Schellenberger's able to get in there in the backfield untouched, that defensive line has to be doing a good job of keeping those offensive linemen off of the linebackers. They did right there. Schellenberger able to shoot the gap and bring the ball carrier down.
Well, Seneca lines up like they're going to go for it, but we saw them do this in the first half, and Fritchie dropped back for a pooch kick, and he's going to do the same thing again here. And he gets the kick away down the Seneca sideline, bounces at the 49-yard line of the Wildcats, and then kicks sideways out of bounds. So Cassville's going to get good starting field position for once tonight after a Seneca punt.
And they're going to start in Indian territory, looks like right at the 49-yard line. So again, this Wildcat defense, another nice job getting the football back in the offense's hands. The best starting field position for the Wildcats tonight.
Ends up being only a 20-yard kick for Seneca. No return. First and 10 Wildcats at the Indian 49. Down 19-0, 8:17 left to go in quarter number 3. Hicks gives the ball to Anthony's. Quick hitter off the left tackle. Slides through and gets down inside the 45, down close to the 40-yard line. Anthony's turned sideways and made two men miss and advances all the way to the 41.
Yeah, nice run there by Anthony's. Good job up front by that Wildcat offensive line, running right at the Indian defense.
It's a gain of 8, and it'll bring up second down and 2. Hernandez goes wide to the right. Schellenberger comes out wide to the left. Hicks up under center, resets Hadlow, the tight end, around to the left side. And he'll give the ball to the tailback, Anthony's, and he is hit behind the line and dropped for a loss. And that time, Lincoln Renfro, linebacker, come flying through and hit Anthony's right as he got the football.
Yeah, Anthony's design play to go off right tackle right there. Renfro, just like the Wildcat linebacker did just a moment ago, Renfro able to shoot through the line of scrimmage and hit Anthony's in the backfield.
So second and short. It's still third and short, but now third and about 2.5 yards to go. Cassville still looking for that first third down conversion of the night. And Hicks is going to run it himself, and around the left end he goes, and he fights for extra yardage, and may, with that second effort, have picked up the first down. We'll see where they spot the football. And they are signaling first down Cassville. Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal Sales. Find them online at SuperiorMetalSalesInc.com and find out what they can custom build for you.
Yeah, just short yardage football right there, fake to the fullback, and again, Hicks just kind of stepped around him and turned the football down the field. Knew what he needed to get, and he got it.
6:46 left to go in the third. Cassville down 19-0. The Wildcats moving the football. First and 10 at the Seneca 38. Here comes Anthony's right up the middle. Dives inside the 35 down to the 34 and picks up 4 yards.
Anthony's took that handoff and just made a subtle little cut just as he got the football. And sometimes that's kind of hard to teach. You just kind of either you're able to see that and make that move or not. But he did right there and allowed himself to pick up some positive yardage right there. Nice little run.
So the Wildcats facing second down and 6 now from the Seneca 34. Hicks this time, straight drop, throws out into the flat, trying to go to Hernandez, and reaching in and knocking it away is Connor Ackerson. Pass falls incomplete, and it'll bring up third down.
Just the timing just wasn't quite right there, Sammy. Just a little bit late getting the football out there. I keep expecting to see the Wildcats maybe run a little fake slant to the out towards the sideline to see if that comes open. The Indians are kind of cheating on that slant route. You don't see the Wildcats throw a lot of out routes on a drop back. They most of the time they run that slant route. We'll see if they change things up a little bit.
So here we go, 3rd and 6. Hicks this time gives to the first man through, and that was Ethan Fox, and he plunges ahead down to the 30-yard line as he is able to pick up about 4 yards, but it'll bring up 4th down and 2.
4th and 2. Wildcats were just in this position a few plays ago. We'll see what offensive coordinator Clay Weldy dials up right here.
5:40 left to play in the third quarter. Cassville down 19-0. The Wildcats facing 4th and 2 just outside the Seneca 30. And the Wildcats lining up to go for it. Hicks drop back, throws out, and the pass is intercepted by Ackerson. No, he drops the football. As they tried that little in route to Hernandez, and Connor Ackerson jumped the route, stepped right into the passing lane, and he was trying to run before he secured the football, and it comes up incomplete.
Yeah, just watching the play, it just looks like if they'll fake the slant and cut that right out towards the sideline, looks like they'll be wide open right there. They try once again. Ackerson again, just as we talked about, they're kind of jumping that slant route. They're playing to the inside, making that a difficult, very difficult throw to complete.
So Cassville holds on to the football for 3 minutes, but they turn it over on downs, and Seneca takes over just outside their own 30. A high snap to Fritchie, gets the quick pitch away from Graham, and now the ball is loose. There's a scramble for it at the 30 as both teams going after the loose football, and Cassville comes up with it. Keaton Schellenberger, and it was also Cosmo Rhodes over there, and I believe Schellenberger came up with the loose pigskin.
Yeah, right from the snap. High snap, kind of throwing the timing of the play off. Frisky trying to make that pitch and just really kind of from the get-go not going. With the Wildcats do a great job of being right there, right on time to fall on the football.
So Cassville takes over after the second Seneca turnover of the night. Both on fumbles, and the Wildcats have it at the Seneca 30, right where they just turned it over on downs. So the Wildcats with another opportunity here. Hicks looking deep, throws to Hernandez, trying to come back to the football at the 10 as the ball was a little underthrown. Hernan Hernandez trying to adjust to the throw, but couldn't get back to the football, and it falls incomplete.
And that's just what the Wildcats did, Sammy. If the ball is thrown out in front, that is 6 points. Hernandez faked the slant route and then ran the arrow towards the pylon. He had 2 steps on the defender. Ball was just underthrown right there.
Yeah, Connor Ackerson definitely bid on that one.
Sure, certainly. And just what we were talking about, coaches, they see that stuff too. I mean, I'm no coach. I don't claim to be, but you just see certain things, and that the Wildcats just tried it, and it was there.
So 2nd down and 10 now for Cassville at the 30-yard line of the Indians. They're going to run the football this time. Anthony's a big hole over the left side, takes a lick at the 25 and dives forward after Napier laid the pads to him, but he takes it down to the 24 and picks up 6 yards.
Yeah, big hole there. Good job on the left side of the offensive line. Anthony's able to get through it, brought down just past the linebackers.
Yeah, we talked about the addition of the new turf here at Seneca, but they've also added a little crow's nest above our broadcast position on the south side of the field, so that gives those Cassville coaches up there a really good look at what's going on down on the surface. 4.5 left to go in the third. Anthony's gets the call again, ducks the shoulders, plows ahead to the 22-yard line. He's going to come up just short, and it'll bring up another 4th down.
Clay Weldy shouting out to his offense. Something didn't go quite right on the play. Not sure where the miscommunication was, but it's going to bring up a 4th and short right here.
4th down and 1 from the Seneca 22-yard line. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. They build, design new and custom pallets. And during this game and the games to come, Jeff reminds all team members that through God, all things are possible. Phone J&M Pallet Company at 847-6732. Under 4 minutes to go in the third. They hand the ball to Anthony's, and getting into the backfield is Jackson Mars, and he drops Anthony's back at the 24 for a loss of 2.
Right into the legs of Anthony's just as he got the handoff in the backfield. Big play by the Indians right there.
So Seneca again takes over on downs. And they will have the ball at their own, we'll call it 24-yard line. 3:47 left here in quarter number 3. Seneca leading 19-0. So Cassville had a little momentum a couple of times early on here in the second half, but Seneca's been able to snuff it out both times. But now the Cassville defense back on the field, and they've been playing much better here in the second half. That play started in the second quarter and is carried over here into quarter number 3. A gain of only 1 on first down, and it'll bring up second down and 9.
Yeah, Fox able to get into Graham's wheels right there and bring him down for a short gain. And you're right, this defense doing much better job here in the second half. And again, they didn't, it wasn't a terrible job in the first half outside of the first few minutes of the first quarter. But they've continued that, as you said, here in the third quarter.
Down to 3 minutes left to play in quarter number 3. A pass on the rollout to Napier, and Napier's got some running room, and he's got the sidelines. He will not go out of bounds. He keeps it in play and takes it down to the Cassville 43. Napier came in motion and a little dump pass to the ball, or to the Seneca player coming out of the backfield, and he turns it into a big first down.
Wildcat coaching staff and really looking for a holding call out here by the wide receiver, allowing Napier to get to the Wildcat sideline down the field. Sure looked like there was a lot of white jersey in somebody's hands there.
32 yards on the pass completion, and Seneca has it 1st and 10 at the Cassville 43. Now Fritchie pitches the ball to Mars. Mars gets a block on the edge, but now the wall collapses on top of him. He tries to cut back and takes it down to about the 37-yard line. Picks up about 5 or 6 yards, and it'll bring up second down and 4.
What these Wildcat corners have been able to do is bring the wide receivers down as the wide receivers are trying to block on this play. They're able to close the distance, take their block, and force the ball carrier back to the defense or get into the legs of the ball carrier themselves.
So second down and 4 now for the Indians, as the big pass play has gotten the ball into Cassville territory. Mars gets the call as he takes the handoff from Fritchie and pushes ahead inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line, picks up about 3, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 1.
Schellenberger on the tackle, able to get through, got around the legs of the ball carrier, not able to stop him at the line of scrimmage, but able to bring him down nonetheless.
1:45 left to go, third quarter. Seneca on top 19-0. Indians facing 3rd and 1 from the Cassville 34-yard line. Unbalanced left. Fritchie gives the ball to Mars. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, breaks free from that shirt tackle, and falls forward, and we'll see where they spot the football. Boy, for a minute there, it looked like Cassville had him about 2 yards deep, but the defender that had a handful of jersey lost his grip, and Mars is able to fall forward to the 32, and it picks up a first down.
Yeah, just that second and third effort there by Mars. Hadlow was the second Wildcat defender that got a hold of him. Mars tried to jump out of his grasp. Hadlow didn't let him go, but he had already crossed the first down marker anyway.
So 1st and 10 Indians at the Cassville 32. Trip receivers to the right side. Mars comes in motion, gets the handoff from Fritchie. Around the right end he goes, makes a cutback at the 25, and then is tripped up down around the 23 or 24-yard line. Good pickup on first down as they spot him at the 24 for a gain of 8.
Again, you've got the Indians to the wide side of the field. They had 3 wide receivers. They had a tight end, and they brought Mars in motion. Had a lot of blockers out in front. The Wildcats defended that pretty well, considering.
Down to the final 30 seconds of the third quarter. Seneca leading 19-0. Indians facing second down and short. Handoff goes to Jackson Graham this time, and a big hole around the left end, but a penalty flag comes out. Graham is down inside the 10 before he is finally taken out of play. But again, this may be coming back as one of the offensive linemen for the Indians, and that was Brock Holtman. Appeared to have a handful of Cassville jersey, and he does get called for the hold, and it's going to take away what would have been 1st and goal for the Indians inside the 10.
Yeah, they got him that time for the hold. And the Wildcats catch a break.
So that will move the football all the way back to the 35-yard line. And it will bring up second down and about 13 to go for the Indians. The offensive lineman was trying to sustain the block and push him away from the ball carrier, but when he couldn't do that anymore, you could almost see it from here, even though it was on the other side of the field. He kind of wrapped that arm around and got a hold of the underneath side of the arm and got called for the hold. Fritchie going to keep it himself, and he takes a lick as he slides across the line of scrimmage down to about the 33. Good hit that time by Michael Morgan. And Fritchie is able to pick up only a couple of yards, and the third quarter comes to an end. A rapidly played third quarter. Nobody scores, and as we head to the fourth, Seneca leads the Wildcats 19-0. We'll be back with the final 12 minutes. You're listening to Big 8 Conference football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back here at Seneca. Todd Speakman alongside as well. We head to the fourth quarter. Seneca leading 19-0. And the Indians with the football at the Cassville 33-yard line, facing 3rd down and 1. Napier goes in motion. Fritchie going to pitch the ball back to Mars. Mars has the first down. He has more inside the 20. Breaks a tackle and takes it inside the 15. Breaks another tackle along the sidelines and takes it in for the touchdown. Wow. Unbelievable.
How he was able to tiptoe down that Seneca sideline is beyond me, but he was able to take the football, bounce it to the outside, got to that sideline, turned the corner, looked like he was going to be forced out of bounds right around the 13-yard line, was able to stay in bounds, tiptoed his way to the pylon for the Indian touchdown.
A 33-yard touchdown run for Jackson Mars, and now he goes. Actually, he's not quite there yet. He's closing in. He's got 97 yards on the night, his first touchdown run. And the Indians extend their lead to 25-0 on the first play of quarter number 4. And the Indians, after having an extra point blocked earlier, are now going to try to pick that up with a 2-point conversion, but they call for a timeout. Tonight's fourth quarter is brought to you by First State Bank in Cassville. Over 26 years ago, First State Bank came to Main Street on Cassville to help their friends and neighbors manage their financial goals. 11:50 left to go here in the fourth. Seneca leading 25-0, and we've got the stoppage of play as Seneca decides what they want to do on this conversion try. The timeout brought to you by Security Bank of Cassville, Wheaton, and Exeter. If you want mobile banking, ATMs, multiple branches, all types of loans, and still be able to go into the lobby and see your personal banker, you just described Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. Take time out to look at Security Bank, member FDIC. Tonight's broadcast also brought to you in part by Les Jacobs Ford. They invite you to come out and meet Larry Westphaling in their service department. They'll fix it right or refund your money at Les Jacobs Ford, and they say go Wildcats. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by MedicareDoneRight.net. Eric Seifert, your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare health insurance plans. Find out more by going to MedicareDoneRight.net. Jackson Mars with his first touchdown of the night. Seneca extends their lead, and now they line up to go for 2. Ethan Fritchie hands the ball off. No, he's going to pass, and he's got a man open in the back of the end zone, and the catch is made, and the 2-point conversion is good as it's complete to the big tight end, Gabe Commons. Commons came from the right side, went all the way across the field to the left side, and Fritchie lobbed the ball into the back of the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
It's a little play action right there, faking to Mars. Fritchie was able to take another step back and just lob the football up and let his big tight end, as you said, he was coming across the field behind the linebackers and ended up open in the back of the end zone there.
So 27-0, Seneca with the lead. 11:50 left to go here in the football game. The Wildcats awaiting the kickoff of Braden Thiel. As the Indians set up. Jake Anthony's and Hernan Hernandez drop back deep for the Wildcats. Thiel gets the whistle and is set to kick it away. And he does so, a line drive kick this time. Anthony started up on it and then had to retreat back to his own 5, and he'll bring it out across the 15, across the 20, dives out to the 25-yard line. Good return of nearly 20 yards for Jake Anthony's, and Cassville takes over at their own 25.
Anthony's full speed. Tried to jump a defender, got his legs taken out from under him. I tell you what, that is one tough football player. We see him every week, and it just looks like he takes the biggest shots. And he hops right up.
Yeah, he just bounces up.
Hops right up, goes to the official, tosses the ball to the official, and then back to the huddle like nothing. It is amazing.
Cassville having a little miscommunication in the backfield. They're going to split the backfield this time as they come out of the eye. They got twin receivers to the left, and Hicks is going to roll out to the right. Pass is in and out of the hands of Anthony's. Coming out of the backfield, falls incomplete out at the 30-yard line. Well, Cassville down by 4 scores now. Going to try to change up the offense a little bit. They've got to open it up a little bit as well, so we'll see as play progresses here through the fourth quarter of play. They've still got the entire fourth quarter, though, as we're just 20 seconds into the final quarter here at Seneca. Second and 10 Wildcats. Hicks running the option. Pitches it to Anthony's. He is hit at the 25 and fights forward out to the 28-yard line, picks up 3 yards.
Hicks running that option, pitches to Anthony's at the last moment. 2 Seneca defenders out there. Nice job by Anthony's right there. Made the first one miss, lowered the shoulder on the second, drove him forward another yard before he was brought down.
Clock continuing to roll, down to 11 minutes left to go in the football game. Seneca on top 27-0. Alexander goes wide to the left for the Wildcats. They go back to the I formation. Seneca coming with some pressure. Hicks rolls away from that pressure, unloads the football, and it's incomplete out around the 30-yard line, trying to hit Bryson Jacobson.
Jacobson coming out of the backfield, getting out in the flat. Hicks rolling to his left, just didn't quite get the football there. A little too far out in front, a little short on that throw. The Wildcats will bring the punt team back on the field.
4th down and 8. Hernandez to kick it away to Connor Ackerson, who stands back at his own 45. Good snap this time, rugby-style kick. Hernandez gets a good leg into it. Ackerson calls for a fair catch back at his own 39-yard line. So Seneca will start 1st and 10, leading 27-0 at their own 39 with 10:40 left to go now here in the fourth quarter.
Wildcat defense done a nice job here in the second half outside of one play. First play of the fourth quarter. Indians were able to hit the edge and get down the sideline, but most of this half the Wildcat defense has played pretty well.
Ritchie from the shotgun has a couple of ball carriers now back there with him, and he gives to one of those, Jackson Graham. Graham wanted to go out wide to the right, and he is shut down and dropped right at the line of scrimmage as Cassville's defense closed in on him quickly, and Jake Anthony's makes the stop for no gain.
Yeah, nice job. Anthony's came upfield, forced Graham to hit the brakes and try to go back into the defense. Anthony's, at that point, dove in, got a hold of the legs, and brought him down. Good play on defense there.
So 2nd down and 10 now for the Indians at the 39-yard line. The clock continues to roll low, and Seneca is more than content to see those seconds tick away. Cassville wants to try to get the football back, down 27-0. Indians this time send 3 receivers wide to the left. Graham back there with Fritchie. Fritchie going to run the football himself, makes a cut back at the 40 and takes it to the 45. Dives out to the 46 and picks up about 6 or 7 yards.
Yeah, running that, just a little quarterback counter right there. Fritchie fake to the right, comes back to the left where those receivers are out there blocking for him.
He is able to gain nearly 7 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 3. Seneca was 2 for 4 on 3rd down conversions in the first half. Only 1 for 3 so far here in the second half. See if Cassville can get a stop right here with 9.5 left to go in the ball game. Fritchie wanting to throw, and he throws it to Napier. It's tipped up in the air, and Napier comes back down with the football, kept his concentration, and picks up an Indian first down. But we've got whistles all over the place, and we've got an illegal man downfield as one of the linemen released a little early, and a big first down play for the Indians on 3rd and short is going to be coming back.
Yeah, trying to get out there and block for Napier. Napier actually tipping that ball to himself.
And now he picks the flag up and is waving it off.
Well, we're trying to see. Now they're marking. They announced no penalty. Now they're marking it off.
Now they are moving it back to the 41-yard line, so it's a 5-yard penalty against the Indians. So 50 yards worth of penalties against Seneca on 5 flags tonight. And it'll be 3rd and 9 now from back at the 41.
Good opportunity once again for this Wildcat defense to get the Indian offense off the field.
9 minutes left to go here in the football game. Cassville down 27-0. Ethan Fritchie calls for the football. Straight drop this time, and he's going to unload one. Down the far sidelines, he overthrows the intended receiver, and Trey Wilson back there defensively trying to come up with an interception, but Ackerson had to turn into the defender on that one and knock the ball away. It falls incomplete.
Wilson had great position right there, did not let Ackerson get behind him. The taller wide receiver, Wilson, had a nice play last week against a much taller receiver, able to go up and knock the football away in the end zone. This time just great position, able to go up and force the incompletion.
So Seneca will be forced to punt at their own 41-yard line. Connor Ackerson set to kick it away to Hernan Hernandez. Boots this one down the middle of the field. Hernandez races up to the 25, makes the catch, turns the corner at the 30, now reverses field. We've got a flag thrown, and Hernandez is spun down at the 34-yard line by Dane Napier. Napier's all over the place tonight for Seneca defensively and on special teams, but a flag back out between the hashes at the 34-yard line.
Usually a play like this, you're going to have some type of hold or block in the back on the play. We'll see what the call is here.
"34-yard kick. Ended up being nearly a 15-yard return. They're still discussing the flag, and right now they're talking to the Seneca captain, which is not a good sign for Cassville. And they call a personal foul against the Wildcats. So don't know whether somebody got a face mask or whether that was an illegal block of some sort, but it'll move the ball all the way back to the 19-yard line.
Hernandez got a good block as he came back towards the Wildcat sideline. The only thing I'm seeing is potentially that they're calling a blindside block there, maybe. It looked like a good football play to me.
So 1st and 10 Cassville with 8:40 left to go. The Wildcats down 27-0. Cassville running the football on first down, and out across the 20 to the 22 is Bryson Jacobson as he is able to pick up 3 yards.
Jacobson runs the football hard. All these backs for the Wildcats have been running the ball hard tonight.
2nd down and 8, or a long 7, however you want to look at it. Split backfield behind Hicks, looking to throw. Dumps one over the middle. He's got Anthony's open behind the secondary, and the pass is overthrown. Well, Anthony's with a quick release right down the middle of the field, and he run by everybody, and the pass could not be caught up with as it was way out in front of the intended receiver.
Yeah, good play design right there, Anthony's. We've seen him on the wheel route tonight. This time just released, came out of the backfield right down the middle of the field. Hicks trying to put a little air under it to give him time to run underneath it, just overthrown by about a yard.
So 3rd down and long now facing the Wildcats at their own 22. 8 minutes left to play. Clock stopped after the incomplete pass. The Indians lead it 27-0. Hicks has time to throw this time, trying to go to Anthony's, and he throws it into the Cassville sideline. It goes incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Once again, Anthony's out of the backfield running the wheel route, this time down the Wildcat sideline. Indians defending it pretty well. Hicks putting the football out there where only his man had a chance to catch it. But the Wildcats will be forced to punt here again.
Hernandez kicking from around his own 10-yard line, and Ackerson awaiting the kick back at his own 45. Hernandez calls for the football, gets the kick away, trying to angle it away from Connor Ackerson. It bounces at the 48, hops up into the air, and then rolls inside the 45 and is blown dead down around the 42.
Nice job by the coverage unit of the Wildcats, flying down the field. Ackerson having to let that football drop. Previous punt forcing a fair catch.
7:43 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Seneca leading 27-0. The Indians take over just inside their own 43. We'll call it the 42. 46-yard kick and no return. Indians 1st and 10. They hand the ball off to a new ball carrier as we've got the JV unit in now for Seneca. New quarterback for the Indians is Gavin Hoover. He is a sophomore. He gives the ball to Dominic Wheeler, a junior, and we got a flag back at the 39.
Wildcats all over the toss sweep that time, tackling the ball carrier in the backfield. And the Indians will be flagged here again. Wildcats accept that penalty first, and a long way to go.
Moves it all the way back inside the 30-yard line. They must get to the 42 to pick up a first down. They must get to the 48 of Cassville to pick up the first down. The 42 is the original line of scrimmage. So 1st and 20-plus yards to go for the Indians. 7.5 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Seneca on top 27-0. Man comes in motion. Handoff goes to him. And the ball carrier trying to get to the edge. He's run out of bounds around the 40-yard line, and that was Milo Shorter. Shorter, a senior, wingback. And he is able to get back close to the original line of scrimmage as he takes it to the 41 for a gain of 11.
Shorter coming in motion from right to left. Timing play. Ball snapped to the quarterback in the shotgun formation, just handed off to Shorter as he went by. Was able to get the corner turn, pick up some positive yardage, brought down at the end of the play by Alexander.
A lot of new faces in the backfield for the Indians. Again, Gavin Hoover, sophomore quarterback. Snap goes to him, hands it off, and the ball carrier for the Indians is Dominic Wheeler, and he powers ahead out to the 48-yard line, is able to gain about 7 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
Wheeler, junior running back, just off the left side there.
Seneca taking their time, getting the play in. Play clock only down to 15, so they've got some opportunity to run some clock here, leading 27-0, not quite halfway through quarter number 4. Hoover brings Wheeler in motion and gives the ball to the running back, and around the right end he goes, tries to turn the edge, dives across the 50 into Cassville territory. It looks like he got enough for the first down. We'll see where they spot the football. If he's inside the 48 and the ball is right at the 48, and that was just enough for a first down for Seneca.
Yeah, going off in motion once again. Shotgun formation. Ball carrier catches it as he goes in front of the quarterback, goes around the right edge, got dumped, but not before he was able to pick up that first down.
He needed 3. He picked up 4. And it's 1st and 10 Indians at the Cassville 48. They'll send twin receivers to the left side now. Cassville showing blitz from the backside. They give the ball to Wheeler. Big hole over the right side, and he's inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Dominic Wheeler rumbles for 9 yards, and it'll bring up 2nd and 1.
Just power football there. Looks like that's going to be a first down for the Indians.
Yeah, they spotted. I thought they were going to put it at the 39, but they put it at the 38. So he picks up 10 and a first down for Seneca.
Yeah, just power football off right tackle there. Wheeler running hard, coming in, getting an opportunity.
So the drive continues to move for the Indians. They give it to Wheeler again, and he's dropped in the backfield, back at the 41-yard line, as they will lose 3 yards.
Ethan Lamborn from his defensive end position, getting into the backfield, bringing Wheeler down.
5 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter. Seneca leading 27-0. Gavin Hoover, sophomore quarterback, awaiting the play to come in from the sidelines. Clock continues to tick away as the Indians come up to the line of scrimmage. Play clock down to 10. Hoover from the shotgun has a running back off his right hip, and he'll run the ball that way, pitches it back to Wheeler. Wheeler trying to get to the sidelines, and Cassville's defense is there to bring him down for a short gain at the 40-yard line, a pickup of 1.
Yeah, good pursuit that time by this Wildcat defense, stretching that play towards that Indian sideline.
And it will bring up 3rd down and 12. Seneca's been able to convert 2 of their 6 third down tries here in the second half. This one 3rd and long, though. Pair of receivers come out wide to the left. Hoover throws underneath. The catch is made right at the line of scrimmage, and the ball carrier trying to fight for extra yardage. That was Blake Skelton. He is also a sophomore, and he takes it down to the 34 and picks up 6 yards, but it'll bring up 4th down.
A good play there by Hernandez. Took on the wide receiver, was able to shed the block and bring the receiver down.
4th down and 6.
So Gavin Hoover completes his first pass of the night. It'll bring up 4th and 6 for the Indians. They've went for it on 4th down a couple of times tonight, was unsuccessful both times. But deep in Cassville territory, leading 27-0 with only 3.5 left, they're going to go for it. They got a man wide open out in the flat, and the catch is made at the 28-yard line. And that was Skelton making the catch once again. And he picks up a Seneca first down on 4th and 6. They convert.
Somehow Skelton just got open. I don't know, if just a lot of cushion out there maybe, but he was just, that ball was in the air a long time. Skelton brought it down right at the first down marker where he was brought down.
So he's got a couple of catches for 13 yards. That one a big one for a first down to keep the clock running and keep the drive alive for the Indians. 3 minutes left to play. They're on top 27-0. And Gavin Hoover directing traffic. Calls for the football, takes the snap, gives it off to another ball carrier. We've got a new face coming out of the backfield, Landon Brown. And Brown is dropped after a short gain of only a yard to the 26.
Brown trying to go off left side there. Anthony's making a read on the play coming upfield, bringing the ball carrier down.
So 2nd down and long now for the Indians. We're down to 2.5 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Seneca on top, 27-0. Brown gets the call again, right up the middle. He takes it to the 25, picks up another yard, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Schellenberger on the play. Also look like Hendricks there, big defensive tackle. Another 3rd and long here for the Indians. They've been able to convert 2 of those in this drive.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the football game. The Indians looking to get back above 500 as they hold a 27-0 lead. Gavin Hoover directing traffic once again, brings a man in motion, gives the ball to that motion man, and around the right end goes Eli Olson, another sophomore. And Olson takes it ahead to the 21, picks up 4 yards.
And again, just a sweet play that the Indians have run all night long. They bring a man in motion out of shotgun formation. They take the snap. As the man runs by, he takes it in front of the quarterback, and around he goes. Just a way to get your ball carriers the ball at full speed.
Well, 4th down and 4. And Seneca going to go for it again here with a minute left to play. Hoover looking to throw, dumps it out to Skelton, and Skelton comes down with the football, and that is going to be a first down. Skelton with another big first down catch, and Seneca's going to be able to run out the clock.
Yeah, Skelton just went out. He knew how many yards he needed. He went out, turned around. Hoover with a little play action, little fake handoff, and immediately threw it out there right on that Seneca sideline. And another conversion.
1st and 10 Indians at the Cassville 13, and Seneca will have to snap the ball once, twice at the most, and they will secure their 4th win of the year. Hoover this time just takes a knee with 25 seconds left to go in the ball game, and that's going to do it. The Indians improved to 4-3 with a 27-0 lead over the Cassville Wildcats, as Cassville falls to 2-5 on the year. Indians pick up the victory here on the home field. They jumped out to the early lead and were able to take it on to a home win, 27-0 over the Wildcats. We'll step aside and be back with the Law Office of John A. Lee Wright postgame show. After this, you're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Back at Seneca, it's now time for the Law Office of John A. Lee Wright post-game show. They proudly support the Wildcats, and they want everyone to remember, if you don't talk, you may walk, and to call 417-847-2177. That's 847-2177. Head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Lance Parnell, has made his way up to our broadcast position, so we'll go ahead and commence with the post-game interview with Coach Parnell. It's brought to you by Arvest Bank. They're committed to Cassville, and they're there to support the community. Local decisions, local commitment, Arvest Bank. Member FDIC. Well, Coach, the Seneca Indians had a lot of momentum early on, and they jumped out to that early lead. Your defense then kind of slowed what they were trying to do, played much better in the second quarter, but the Indians used that early momentum and rode it on to a win here tonight.
Yeah, frustrating night, Sammy. I don't have a whole lot of words to put into this one. Just very frustrating from where we were a week ago to not even being anywhere close tonight as far as execution and effort. Pretty frustrated right now.
12-0 early on, but then your defense settled down. You get a turnover, force a punt, get a turnover on downs. Things are starting to work back in your favor. The offense was sputtering a little bit because Seneca was playing some very good defense again tonight, and then they score again right before halftime, and that really turned the tide their way.
It did, and I'll tip my hat to Coach Hilburn coming in here in his first year. His kids played at a different level than our kids did tonight. They just played faster, more physical, much sharper. When we come out and have, about as bad a start as we can, from execution and in all three phases of the game. We tried to battle back there in the second quarter and found a way to get some stops, and they helped us with a couple turnovers, but just struggled all night to get any consistency whatsoever on either side of the ball.
Yeah, one thing from earlier in the season you'd been hearing about, of course, Jackson Graham was back and healthy, and he had a good first half carrying the ball for them. But I hadn't really hear a lot of people talk about their defense, but this was a very athletic and a very fast defense. They were flying to the football, having 3 and 4 guys there all the time.
They did. They did a great job against our option stuff. They tackled very well, tonight. It was a very good defensive effort by Seneca.
Of course, offensively, every time you would start to move the football and get some momentum going, it seemed like they were able to do something to stall that out. But there were some spells where you were able to kind of get things together, especially running the football. Jake Anthony's another good night running the football for you. That kid is one tough running back.
He is. He runs extremely hard. He's gotten better and better. I think this is week 3, maybe week 4 that we've had him there, moved him. And, he plays hard. Man, he plays hard.
He really does. I know one thing them tonight, they were able to get some momentum there early in the second half, and then with the touchdown they had on their second possession of the second half, and that allowed them to kind of do some things a little freer defensively than probably what they would have done otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, they were flogging us defensively. On the flip side, we would battle when we're on defense and then have a missed alignment, or we struggle getting off blocks tonight defensively, and that's frustrating. They did they did a good job blocking up on the edge. Their receivers are physical kids that did a good job, and we didn't do quite as well there at times, and a lot of mistakes on both phases of the game that really stalled a lot. Either stalled an offensive drive or allowed them to convert.
And, of course, one thing that didn't help either tonight was, it's hard sometimes to get the field flipped for yourself, and that was one thing that Cassville found themselves deep in their own territory a lot.
Yeah, we did, especially in the first half. We were either, deep in our own territory offensively, or they were starting with pretty good field position. And, the law of averages says that that's not going to work well for you, and it didn't tonight.
Well, you get to come back home next week. You're taking on the East Newton Patriots as you move on to week number 8 and getting to play back at home for the final time during the regular season.
Yeah, it'll be senior night. That'll be a special night for our 7 seniors, and, we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to being at home, for the last time of the regular season. And, it's I know we'll talk a lot more about them next week, but, it's a group of seniors that they're not big in numbers, but, they've stayed together and worked very hard. And, we got East Newton coming to town, and they're an improving football team, and we're gonna have to go back to work this week. And we've talked about consistency for the last month, and I was hoping we were finding some strides there, and I'm pretty disappointed right now. Would be about the best way to put it.
And that's one thing that will be nice, as you said, about next week, too, recognizing those seniors, because you had such a huge senior class last year, had a smaller senior class coming back this year, but those have been your leaders throughout the season, and get to recognize them next Friday.
They have, and they're all special kids, and I love each and every one of them to death. And, you know, like I said, I look forward to getting to recognize them next week in senior night back home.
Well, you got a long trip home, so we'll let you get on out of here. We appreciate your time as always. Be careful going home. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Thanks a lot, Sammy. I appreciate it.
Head coach Lance Parnell joining us here in the post-game show. It's brought to you by Arvest Bank. They offer competitive loan rates and easy application processes. Ask one of their friendly lenders for details today. Arvest Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. We'll be back with some of the final game stats and to wrap things up here from Seneca as the Law Office of John A. Lee Wright post-game show continues here from Earl D. Campbell Stadium. Back at Seneca, the Indians win it tonight 27-0 over the Cassville Wildcats as we continue with the Law Office of John A. Lee Wright post-game show. They proudly support the Wildcats, and their professional personnel believe in your rights to a fair hearing and representing you with the utmost expertise, integrity, and excellence. Phone 847-2177. Seneca led 19-0 at the break. The only points coming early in the fourth quarter for the Indians on a 33-yard run from Jackson Mars. 2-point conversion was good, and our final score 27-0. The Indians with the victory. The Indians racked up 323 yards unofficially on the ground on 49 carries. They were 6 of 7 through the air for 106 yards, as Seneca racked up 429 yards of offense, 18 first downs. They turned it over twice on 2 fumbles. They were penalized 5 times for 50 yards, and they punted 3 times for a 28-yard average. Cassville held to 94 yards on the ground on 26 carries. They were 1 of 16 through the air for 4 yards for a total of 98 yards. They picked up 2 first downs, had 1 turnover on an interception. They were penalized 3 times for 25 yards and punted 7 times tonight for a 36-yard average. Excuse me, looking at some of the individual numbers, the Indians were led by Jackson Graham, as he had 153 yards and a touchdown on 15 carries. Ethan Fritchie had 36 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown. Jackson Mars, 97 yards on 15 carries and a touchdown. Connor Ackerson had a touchdown catch of 25 yards for a touchdown, and Mars also had a catch for 28. Dane Napier had 1 reception for 32 yards on the night. Looking for Cassville, Jake Anthony's 57 yards unofficially on 16 carries, as he was the leading ball carrier tonight for the Cassville Wildcats. We'll step aside one more time, try to get some final scores from around the Big 8, and then be back to wrap things up here from Seneca. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Back at Seneca for the final time, we'll go ahead and hand out our post-game awards and wrap things up here this evening. Our hard hit of the night brought to you by B&K Auto Body, where they fix hard hits, and it's their specialty. They use a Black Hawk frame, rack, and measurement system with free computerized estimates. B&K Auto Body, they work with all major insurances. Phone 847-3990. It was a hit from in the first half. Bryson Jacobson coming up from his linebacker position to make a stop on a Seneca ball carrier, and he gets our hard hit of the night. Again, it's brought to you by B&K Auto Body with 24-hour towing, certified technicians when your vehicle has been smashed by a hard hit. Give them a call at 847-3990. Our Wildcat player of the game is brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr, and it goes to Keaton Schellenberger. Not only were we calling his name numerous times defensively, coming up and making stops, but he also contributed offensively as well, and Keaton Schellenberger is our Wildcat player of the game, brought to you by Fast Trip. Whether for fuel, grocery items, fountain drinks, ice cream, or snacks, they have it all and at the very best prices. Fast Trip, 104 South Main in Cassville, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. All right, other finals around the Big 8. Lamar beats Monette 52-21. Catholic gets their first win of the year as they edge Mount Vernon 14-13. Marshfield and Aurora, that game has now gone final. The Hound Dogs beating the Blue Jays 30-19. Nevada with 46-6 winner over East Newton. McDonald County upended Reed Spring 41-6. And Rogersville beats Hollister 42-25. So that's a look at week number 7 around the Big 8 Conference. And we move on to the final 2 weeks of the regular season. Next Friday night, Cassville heads home, and they'll be taking on the East Newton Patriots.
Wildcats get to play the home field last time in the regular season. I expect them to be a more focused football team next week. Senior night, they'll be fired up and ready to play next Friday night. I'll guarantee you that.
Yeah, a rough start tonight, and it's crazy how sometimes just the first 8 to 10 minutes of a football game can determine what's going to happen the rest of the night when you still have 3.5 quarters to play. But that rough start tonight really snowballed against them, and Seneca was able to take advantage, and they come up with a victory tonight.
Yeah, it was, as Coach Parnell said, it was disappointing after last week. Big emotional victory, come from behind a couple of different times. Last second, you win a big game. You kind of think you're turning a corner, and then a game like tonight is a step back, and not the kind of game you want to have when you're entering the last third of the season, getting ready for postseason play.
Of course, you got to regroup next week against the Patriots, and they continue to build their program over the last couple of years, so they'll be a handful, even though you do have a home game, and then you have to close out the regular season at McDonald County, who has picked up another win tonight, and they're 6-1, so never easy in the Big 8 Conference. Never
easy. Coach Wood's he does a nice job there at East Newton. He's getting some numbers out, and they'll be ready to play. East Newton's not a team, they're not a pushover. They're going to be fired up to come play the Wildcats and try to come in a Wildcat on the home field and sneak out a victory. But as I said, senior night next week, I expect this Wildcat bunch to be more focused and ready to go.
Well, we invite you to join us next Friday at Cassville as the Wildcats honor their seniors and take on the Patriots there from Wildcat Stadium. That's going to wrap things up tonight here from Earl D. Campbell Stadium in Seneca, Missouri. We'd like to thank Athletic Director Rich Atkins and all of his staff for the hospitalities here tonight. A beautiful evening for high school football, but it turned out to be a rough night for the Wildcats on the gridiron. And Seneca's got the turf field now, a beautiful addition to their complex, and athletics here in Seneca, Missouri as well. We thank all of our sponsors for helping support our coverage, whether on the radio or on web TV. A big thank you goes out to all of them for helping us get these games out over the airwaves and supporting Cassville High School athletics. Thanks as always to Dwayne and Janet back at the studios, keeping an eye on things for all of our broadcasts here throughout the season. And we'll be back with you next Friday night, week number 8, as the Wildcats head home to take on East Newton. And we invite you to tune in for that on 97.7 FM or CassvilleWebTV.com. Once again, our final score here tonight from Seneca. The Indians defeat the Wildcats by a score of 27-0. Speaking for Todd and Jeremy, this is Sammy Clapper saying thanks for joining us and good night from Earl D. Campbell Stadium.